Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are watching from around the world. Welcome to Birmingham, UK. You join us here on Side Productions with myself, George Lees. Joe Walker, Head of Sales for Football America. Can we call you Head of Sales? We won't get an argument from Dave Hagar about that.
No, not at all. I think Dave is quite happy with me being the Head of Sales for them.
And of course, we've got Tom Henley during the commentary as well. You can just see there the Harley Davidson store from Solihull bringing some guys down to support today. So, just touching on BAFCA ahead of this game, we managed to catch up with Wayne Hill. You, of course, are a BAFCA coach educator. How have you found things so far?
It's always been fantastic with the education system, and an education system that's constantly improving. It's been one that's taken its time to get where it's going, but I think with the stuff that Wayne's bringing in the next year, with the things that Ian Tucker and Adam Koppel have been working on as the education leads, the future's really bright with coach education in the UK, and hopefully it's going to be something that's going to be very much in line with a lot of education going throughout the whole world, hopefully in the near future.
And we managed to catch up with Wayne earlier on today, and this is what he had to say. Good afternoon, Wayne. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Been a busy few days, but hopefully today I'll finish with a win and we can get through this really exciting tournament.
You've been heavily involved with the Lions programme as a whole over the last few years. Just talk us through this weekend and how it's gone about and what's come of it, and have you enjoyed it, more importantly?
Yeah, I think how it came about was obviously Joe and Jamie and the rest of the coach staff had put this idea out there some time ago, and it's after the Finland experience, it was definitely something that we wanted to be able to do. We started negotiations some months ago and started speaking to the university and getting a team together that has kind of put this event on, and some of the players from the team have really stepped up from an organisation point of view in getting the sponsors involved, getting the vendors here, but again the university being great with kind of the facilities, the accommodation and the food arrangements for the Helsinki team and the New York team. So it's been really, really exciting, really, really busy. I mean, Joe has done a fantastic job in all of her communication as an organisation. But yeah, really exciting. Great to have this event here, and hopefully this is the first of a number of these events.
You were here with us on Friday, and of course yesterday, watching game 1, 2, and shortly the third game. Just talk us through what you've seen on the football field. Anything exciting? Any key standout players?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on Friday night was everyone was just so kind of outstanding. Really, the level that was from both teams. I mean, Helsinki's offensive and defensive line are really, really high quality. A lot of athletes on that side of the ball, and obviously the running game for Helsinki is phenomenal. She's an absolute beast, and she caused a lot of problems for any team she was playing for. And then obviously from a New York point of view, I think the quarterback has got a great arm. Number 2, the receiver, looks very, very confident, and I think it's going to be a really close game today. Obviously both teams are playing in a short period of time. New York had the rest yesterday. It's going to be difficult from a Lions point of view, but what we're seeing is some great women's football on display, and it's not only great from the Birmingham Lions point of view of putting on this event, but just great for women's sport in general, really, to see these athletes out here.
And of course, this year you've been announced as the BAFCA president, the new BAFCA president, the British American Football Coaches Association. Just talk us through that and what you've got planned moving forward.
Yeah, I was very lucky to be appointed and voted in. Great to take over from Paul Sherratt, who did a phenomenal job previously, and has spent a lot of time in post working on the new BAFA restructure. And again, with kind of the BAFA restructure and me coming in post, it's a really exciting time to try and get that partnership working together to move coaching and the sport forward. So from us, it's been kind of like trying to align our kind of systems, our policies, our practices, and try and communicate more with the members as much as possible. Take that feedback from the members as well. So yes, it's been kind of a process since me coming into post to try and make sure that the organisation is all singing from the same hymn sheet, and we have the development opportunities there. We hopefully have quite a large partnership that we're able to announce next week that'll really support the education of our coaches moving forward and their continual professional development. We've got a range of level ones being hosted over the next kind of few weeks, and we now have a process whereby we're going to have qualification periods within the year. So we'll have our kind of September, October period of time, December, January, and then kind of that April, May kind of period as well. And then obviously our convention moving forward will be in the July time. So there'll be our kind of 4 key points throughout the course of the year. But really we want to kind of get these level ones put out, and then at Christmas time we'll start rolling out the level 2 qualifications, and then working with our members, working with BAFA about how we move forward with the qualification structure of what our coaches should be qualified to for each of their positions.
You briefly touched on the CPD, the Continual Professional Development Scheme. Obviously we've got coaches up and down the country, well, the nation really. You've got coaches at the top end of Scotland to the very bottom of Cornwall. Often with CPD systems throughout various industries, teaching of course an industry that you know, it often involves these people going to events. For those that are, well, some distance, for example, those in Inverness, is a 4-hour drive to Edinburgh, let alone coming down. Have you got anything planned to help those guys out?
Yeah, I think the key with continual professional development is it can be done in a variety of different ways, and there's a lot of work going on around different programs and teams. That is already happening, so we need to be able to kind of support and quantify that as well. But I think where we want to be able to get to is somebody that did their level 1 qualification 10 years ago and has not done any professional development in that period of time. We need to question the reason why, but then also the ones that are doing things without actually knowing that. So that professional development could be child protection qualification, safeguarding qualifications, first aid qualifications. It might be an in-house coaching clinic that they're running at their team. It might be coming down to the BAFCA convention that we would encourage all to do. But also the partnership that we're going to announce will hopefully enable some of that kind of online football-specific content to be accessed and be able to kind of be approved then as CPD points. And we're working with hopefully BAFA and registrations on how we can get our coaches to be able to upload that information onto the Esolve system. So our coaches will have basically a logbook of all of their CPD opportunities and what they've done over the course of the last 2-3 years.
Coach, just finally, give us your view, well, not your views, but your prediction for today. You've got Lions facing off against this New York Sharks team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game. I think New York are obviously got a lot of athletes out there. It's been difficult with our turnaround time, and yeah, we're missing 1 or 2 players as well. And as I know Coach Kilby mentioned earlier, that we haven't probably spent as much time as we would like to in preparing for this tournament. However, I think we have some talent on show, and we're really committed to putting on a good event here today and some really good football. So I'd like to see a really close game with the Lions coming out on top at the end.
Thank you kindly for speaking to us this afternoon. Best of luck moving forward with your presidency of BAFCA. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
You've been here the last 2 days as well. Just talk us through what you've seen, particularly from the Sharks on Friday night.
Yeah, the Sharks, very, very classy outfit. Not a huge squad, but a squad that is full of talent. Great quarterback in Mulligan, somebody who can deliver the ball all over the field. Will get the ball there with snap and on time and with accuracy. Possibly the best female quarterback you'll see in Britain for a number of years. So she's really talented. And then Jennifer King, number 5 for the Sharks, plays DB and some wide receiver. Was an absolute difference maker for them on Friday night, and somebody who you should look out for today if you're enjoying the game.
The Sharks, of course, that great passing game by Mulligan, as you've mentioned there. The running game never really materialised on Friday night, though.
Yeah, I think that was down to Helsinki being good in run stopping, and we saw that again yesterday against Birmingham. I don't think that's necessarily something to detract from the Sharks' performance. I just think that Helsinki really came thinking we're not going to get beaten with the run this year, and I think they did their best in doing that. They held together Ruth Matter in yesterday's game, and the Sharks will have been watching that game and saying, well, that's clearly the key to beating the Birmingham Lions.
And of course they won, only allowing 14 points from the Wolverines on Friday night. But the defence in the second half, very much playing sort of a bend and don't break style defence. Do you think that'll work for them here today?
Yeah, I think it's something that they can probably employ quite easily against the Birmingham Lions. It's something that will continue to work for them moving forwards. They've seen the Birmingham Lions play yesterday. They've had their scout. They understand how the Birmingham Lions play, and they will have planned accordingly, I believe.
We managed to catch up with stand-in head coach for the tournament, Hopkins, earlier. This is what she had to say. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Of course, you had the first game on Friday night. Big one for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Just talk us through what went through the heads there as you walked out. 27 to 14.
14. Yeah.
It was 14.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough one for us. I'll be honest about that, but we got through it. One of the things I love about this team is we faced a ton of adversity this season, and we always stick together, find the way to pull through. Hats off to the Helsinki coaching staff. That's a well-coached, hard-hitting, tough organization. And then, they gave us a run for it. It was a great game.
Obviously, it's not very often that you have to play a game 48 hours or less than 48 hours
Right.
later. The Lions played yesterday, of course, but
Right.
You've not had long to recover. How have you gone around that process?
Yeah, the message to the team at the end of the game was, great game, celebrate a little bit, but make sure you take care of your bodies, stay off your feet. We had to come out here to scout yesterday. Other than that, it just gave the team time to themselves to make sure they got rest. We were in bed early last night, a lot of stretching, a lot of ice. And, I'm sure they're still sore. There's just no getting around that, but I think we'll be fine.
We saw on Friday that you could certainly throw the ball. Mulligan
Yes.
was doing a great job for you.
Right.
A nice pass, nice release from her. But the running game never really picked up. Have you got
Right.
plans to get that going today?
Absolutely. There's a lot of pride on the O-line, and, they were bothered, by us not being able to get the ground game going. So I fully expect them to have a sort of mindset of redemption today and get the ground game going. I fully expect to see more of a balance offensively today.
The defense, of course, played a great first half. You allowed a couple scores, well, one score, should I say, but you got the pick six at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to play a bit more of a bend and don't break defense in the second half. Just talk us through today's game plan.
Yeah, today I think the plan is to be a bit more aggressive, right? And you never kind of want to be on your heels. Our motto is always to dictate the pace, whether we're on offense or defense. So we don't want to play to them. We want to make them play to us. So that's the plan for today.
Of course, you've been here now not quite a week. But, have you enjoyed what you've been involved with so far, both the football and the country itself?
Yeah, it's for me personally, absolutely a dream. I don't know when I would have gotten over here, if not for this tournament. So I was able to do some touristy things, and then obviously when we got to the football field and things settled in, what was happening for me, that was very exciting as well, and the team's extremely excited. It's just been a fantastic experience for everyone.
Just talk us then through the Lions and what you've got planned, or what you think they might come out with today.
Defensively, so, based on our scouting of them prior to getting here, it's not very different. We're expecting to see a four-man front, a single middle linebacker, but yesterday it looked like they're going to give us a 4-2-5, so we'll expect two in the middle for the run game. And then I think we have a lot of opportunity in the passing game like we did on Friday. Defensively, obviously, number 10, we got to watch out for her. She's a stellar running back. She's slippery. She's quick. She took a bit of a pounding yesterday. She was all over the place. So, I hope she was able to get some real rest and recover so she can play the type of game that she wants to play today. But we're definitely looking out for her. And then, obviously, special teams, we have to be on point with that because that can make or break a game in any situation.
And finally, we saw quite a lot of injuries on Friday night from both sides. Is there anyone that you're missing today, any key players that might not be able to take field? Yeah,
we lost two players. We lost a receiver. And we lost one of our defensive linemen. So, both of them, one is a knee, the other is a shoulder. So they won't be joining us today. But the others were, put some tape on it, put an ice pack on it, and then let's keep going.
Thank you, Coach,
okay,
for speaking to us today.
Sure.
Of course, best of luck for the forthcoming game.
Starting
Thanks,
with the
kindly.
Birmingham Lions offense.
Coach Hopkins there with a few words, a few injuries, a few concerns that she's got, but very much confident coming into this game.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you be? You beat the Helsinki team who beat the Lions, so best opportunity to be successful today is straight in front of you.
Yeah, logic very much dictates as the big booming voice of Jay Alexander starts talking over our loudspeakers around us. Of course, Birmingham, the team that's just being called out, you may see them running up to midfield. Not the greatest game last night.
No, and I think the challenge is that Birmingham's build as a programme has maybe been around a few key faces and a few key people. We talked about Ruth Matter in the pre-game. We talked about Phoebe Schechter missing, and I think maybe not having a talisman such as Phoebe Schechter here as a leader, as a captain, is a big miss. It's somebody who they will have been feeling that the absence of. And then if you can slow down Ruth Matter, like we said in pre-game yesterday, then you're going to have a really bad day. So it's something that the Lions need to maybe look at how they're building their programme and how they're putting that together, really. Yeah,
and of course, Ruth Matter not getting anything, very, very short yardage. She had that one big touchdown score that was pulled back. How do you go about scheming a player open?
That's a good question. And I think outside of that, I'm not quite sure where I would look at what I want to stop. My whole thing would be stop Ruth if I'm the Sharks, and if I'm Birmingham, I want to try and put her in some situations where we can be more successful with her not necessarily in the backfield. Move her around, use her as a distraction in other places, put her in the slot, run bubble with her and get her on the perimeter. We don't want to run inside against this Sharks front eight. It's going to be a difficult day for them.
Of course, the defence last night didn't do a great job stopping the run either. In defence, the Sharks didn't manage to stop the Wolverines' running game either. And the Sharks haven't really shown that they can run the ball yet, but their passing game very, very prominent. What do you think their defence are going to do?
I think they're going to have looked at yesterday, and I think they're going to say to themselves, we need to bottle up Ruth and try and not let her get outside, and try and make them work for hard yards inside, and make them have to beat you by three downs of football to get 10 yards. In some ways, you want to put the ball into the passing hands of Jo Kilby, because it's an opportunity for you to go and get the ball. Ruth is fantastic at keeping control of the ball, even if she's not been able to get past the outside of the Birmingham Lions offensive line and offensive backfield very much in the last couple of days. So I think you, as the Sharks, they just need to keep that bottled up, be gap sound, and make sure that they're not making any silly mistakes that are going to give Ruth an opportunity to start running the ball effectively.
And of course, the Lions special teams unit wasn't full performance yesterday on the first drive, having that blocked punt, putting the Wolverines in great field position, which they quickly capitalised on. You've had less than 24 hours to get that sorted. What do you think they've said to these players to try and smooth that over?
That's a really good question. I think they will have. I looked at pre-game this morning, and looking at the Lions warming up this morning when we arrived, they seemed like there was a lot of good energy. There was a lot of positive energy. I think they've said, look, this is going to be a hard reset. Let's forget all about yesterday, forget all about that game, and give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful today.
As you can hear behind us, the national anthem's just starting. You will join us shortly after those. Following that will be the United Kingdom national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Great Britain for the Birmingham Lions.
to the national anthems of the United States and Great Britain there. We managed to catch up very quickly with Coach Kilby of the Birmingham Lions. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing great.
Feeling a little better than last night?
Okay, folks, we'll be sending
Yeah. We've had time to sleep on it now, and we're ready to go.
How it's going to work today then.
Not
A
very
win
often that you
for
have
the
to
New York
play
Sharks
another
today
game
will win then
within
the
24 hours, within a 24-hour window like you have to today. Just tell us about how you guys have recovered or recuperated in preparation for today.
Well, to be honest, I hope they've all got an early night's sleep. We've gone straight to bed as soon as possible and got up as refreshed as possible. But in our experience of 11s football, this is the norm for us. So, being in Finland, we had to do exactly that. So,
bit of a baptism of fire, really, last night into the tournament.
Yeah.
Just talk us through yesterday's game.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, when we look back to it, it was we hadn't played a game for 4 months. Coming off that pre-season, our pre-season prep wasn't fantastic. So it's not surprising that we weren't really firing on all cylinders. There's a lot of sort of mistakes were made, and we reviewed that, and we've been working on a few things in our early morning warm-ups, and we're hoping we're going to be a bit snappier today, kind of thing. Get rid of some of the hesitations that were in place, so ironed out a few things. So yeah, I'm hoping we'll make a better, stronger account of ourselves today.
The offense, of course, didn't really get anything going. Ruth Matsu was the key player. She did have the early touchdown that was pulled back for holding.
Yeah.
Just talk us about how you plan to get that offense going today.
Yeah, well, we're looking to probably spread the ball out a little bit more. I mean, we relied on quite a lot of two back in the first part in the first game yesterday. We're looking to spread it out a little bit more. Hopefully, gives Ruth some room, up the middle, during that. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
And of course, you guys all came down to watch the Sharks play the Wolverines on Friday night. Sharks winning out quite convincingly. How are you planning on defense? With your defense to try and stop that Sharks offense?
We're more fearsome of their passing game than their running game. I mean, obviously the Wolverines were able to contain their running game quite consistently, and the lesser of the two evils will definitely be the run game. So it's very much a case of trying to sort that pass game out more than anything else. I think that'll be our biggest threat to our defense today. We're a little banged up. We've got people playing out of position, all the rest of it. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough afternoon. Make no mistake about it. So
yeah, did you have any injuries last night? Anyone that maybe held out of the game due to?
I don't think we've got anybody out. But it's just bangs and bruises and stuff like that. I mean, one of them went to go to hospital with heat exhaustion, but I believe they're back and kitted and ready to go today. So
tough woman.
Yeah.
So, like we say, you've seen the Sharks play already. What are your thoughts coming into the game? Obviously, we've talked about their offense. Anything that concerns you with their defense, their defensive scheme?
I mean, upon reviewing film, not so much in their scheme. We felt that they're quite static in what they do. There's not a lot of stunts, not a lot of blitzes, and all the rest of it. So it should be easy for the offense to pick up and read. I think it will just come down to athletic matchups, that kind of thing, and the sheer will to want to get out and get the job done. So.
Coach, thank you kindly for taking the time to speak to us. We'll let you get back to your duties this morning.
All right, thanks very much. Cheers.
So during that interview there, we've just had the coin toss. Birmingham Lions electing to receive. As is tradition, when you've got Joe Walker on, you know what's coming. What's your prediction for today?
I think it would be very bad of me to look past the New York Lions today, New York Sharks today. I think they've got a very, very talented football team. They've had a day's rest between two games, and I think this Birmingham team, whilst they'll be in high spirits about playing another game of 11 women football, I think that yesterday's probably made them question themselves a little bit about how good they can really be on an international level. I think the Sharks will take this one comfortably.
So it does appear that we are going early today. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. As always, Football America, if you are in the Birmingham area, they have got their travelling shop. You will join us, myself and Tom Henley, for the commentary of this game in just one moment.
Good afternoon and welcome to the University of Birmingham for a matchup between the Birmingham Lions and New York Sharks. Apologies for starting off a bit early. Seems everyone's eager to get ready and go. George has now managed to run his way back to the booth, so I'm no longer alone.
I don't know, I think we trust you alone.
Bold decision.
High kick, flag on the play to start off as Hannah Pye looks to return. Got a little bit of a seam, actually a nice seam, and she may well take this all the way. Good blocking, arch back, last woman to beat, and just pushed out of bounds inside. It looks like they're going to mark her inside the 20, but we will see.
What a start to this game, George.
Yeah, very much. I'm not quite sure we were expecting that. We'll see what the flag is. Likely to be offside by one of the kick team. To apologise that the game has kicked off by my watch 6 minutes early, but it is what it is.
I think after that return, no one's going to mind.
That depends if they've missed that return because they've not been watching.
What a return!
Offside on the Sharks, which the Lions will decline.
So that penalty will be declined.
They're going to start in much better field position today than they managed to get yesterday. They're going to go 1st and 10 for the Lions on the 20-yard line.
So Lions coming out here in the similar formation to what they were running yesterday, with that big fullback Morgan, and looking to hand it straight off to Ruth Matter, who's going to pick up maybe 1 yard. During that kick, in that coin toss today, the Lions were led out by Alec Hughes. He, from birth, was a patient of the Birmingham Children's Hospital. Of course, this weekend isn't just about the football. It is about raising some awareness and raising some funds for the Birmingham Children's Hospital. You can find that on the Just Giving website by typing in the PROCLOUD trophy. Anything you can give, I'm sure, will be generously received, as the ball is tossed to Matter, who finds a nice seam, breaks one tackle, breaks a second, and is eventually brought down inside the Sharks' 10-yard line. The Sharks don't appear to be quite awake yet, Tom.
What a start! What a start from our Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, not something we saw much of there yesterday. Wolverines managing to stuff the play of Ruth Matter, but a big pickup, going to bring up a 1st and goal. In fact, they're going to mark the Lions down on the Sharks' 6-yard line. Kilby again, the quarterback.
It's nice to see the Lions once go to run the ball against this New York outfit.
I think they wanted to prove a point that they could run the ball. And there is a whistle on the play. And it is a timeout. It looks like it may be on the Sharks. .933 left on the clock. Of course, if this is the first game of the series that you've watched, we are playing women's 11 format. It's 11 offense, 11 defense, all 22 as it were, and 11-minute quarters as well. Those 11-minute quarters, due to insurance reasons, players only allowed to play so many minutes within a set window of time. And it's worked out quite nicely so far, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, definitely. It's impressive that all these teams are having 2 games, like Helsinki yesterday, back-to-back. Well, 2 games in less than 24 hours.
And it was a competitive game as well. Very competitive, because Helsinki came out winners, and by some margin too. So we'll see what these Lions can do. 6 yards out, need to get a score on the board early. Scored on the first drive yesterday, just before it was pulled back on a penalty in that bunch formation as they pitch it out to Matter, who may well get to the edge, but is brought down for a loss of yards by the Sharks defence. Looks like it was Nandi Brown, the tackler, cornerback for the Sharks. You see it there, beating Morgan round the edge. Morgan not quite the hits that she made yesterday, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line.
After a rough day yesterday for Kilby in the air, I'm hoping to see the Lions coaching staff still confident in their field general to go distribute the ball in the air.
And that pitch option there. And Ruth's found a gap and she's in for the score. No flags on the play. Ruth Matter, first score of the day. A quick score, first drive for the Lions will be exactly what they wanted. After yesterday's disappointing game, offense was, well, atrocious, I think, to say, if I'm being brutally honest. But Mata getting around the edge, finding a gap and showing the speed that she possesses.
You're right, for the Birmingham Lions standards, anything other than success is not far off atrocious, really.
As they go for two, Kilby rolling out, got a receiver in the end zone.
Rachel Trim.
A nice grab. It's going to be an 8-point start for these Lions. As you said there, Rachel Trim, the recipient of that catch.
These Lions got to be confident now. Everything started a lot better than yesterday. If they can keep these mistakes out, who knows, we could have an upset today.
So the Sharks will receive the ball here. They're going to want to get some scores back themselves, see if they can march back upfield and get the first score for them.
Specials yesterday, the Lions didn't perform as well as they would have liked to. You got to hope to see after Hannah Pye's good return from the initial kickoff if they've improved in all aspects of specials.
Yeah, as Joe Walker said pre-game, it will be a concern, no doubt. They have to have done something to smooth it out. And a short kick, well picked up by the Sharks, and they're going to get pushed out of bounds around about the 45-yard line. It's the 50-yard marker, but we're on a 90-yard field, so it's the 45-yard mark.
Interesting seeing the Lions persist with that short, high kick.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite the size that some of these women have for the Sharks, they can move the ball. They, like the Helsinki Wolverines, have got some big running backs, and I think it was a running back that they actually kicked it to there on the second line. And Mulligan handing off the ball. Laura Moore, the tackler there for the Lions. Better start against the run for the Lions. It was a short pickup. Looks like a 2nd and 7 here as the camera scans across the field. Mulligan again, that experienced quarterback that she is, played for the Sharks for 16 seasons, as she steps back looking to pass to the hitch, but it's dropped by her intended target, number 40, Molina, who had a wonderful game on Friday night.
That was a finger breaker there by Mulligan.
Yeah, very much so.
The venom.
As Joe said, probably the best receiver, the best quarterback you'll see playing on the British Isle.
Oh, definitely.
For certainly the women's game this year, and if not for many years to come. 3rd down, stepping back and looking deep, and it is complete inbounds to Capardi, who again was a key target for Mulligan Friday night. So it's going to be a big chunk pickup there.
Lovely simple smash concept there, hitch and a corner.
Capardi left almost completely untouched. So a bunch set to the right hand side as they hand off on a counter play, finding space up the middle of the defence. And that is, can't quite get a number actually there. It is Janine Wilkerson there. Unfortunately, the Sharks couldn't get the running game going against the Wolverines, who had a very strong defensive front, but the passing game saw them through as they hand off to Wilkinson again. Laura Moore again, one of the tackling linebackers.
Wilkinson powers forward again met by Laura Moore. Was enough yardage for a 1st down, and that'll be 1st and 10 around the 15-yard line.
So we'll see what they can come up with here. Picking up that 1st down and just outside the Lions 10, around about 15-yard. And Mulligan steps back. She's got Capaldi wide open to the right, but she's looking into the end zone and it's dropped by her receiver. Good pressure by the Lions defensive backs.
That ball placement every time is simply perfect.
It was in a position where the defensive back wasn't going to touch it. It was only a receiver able to catch, but the pressure by the defensive back just doing enough to put the ball to the deck. Second down for the Sharks. And again, that same formation, Mulligan, play action pass. And it looks like she's got somebody deep in the end zone. Number 25 of the Sharks Fields was the intended target. And overthrown. And that is going to bring up a third down. Apologise, we don't have the greatest angle from our commentary position. We are at the very far end of the field from where play is taking place, with several tents in the way as well. So 3rd and 10. Running a couple times on this drive so far, but the passing game has picked up some nice chunks as Mulligan steps back again. She's looking deep into the end zone. 2 defensive backs on, flags all over. It looks like it may be called for pass interference. It was in that zone, and that was Stone, who was the defensive back there. You just see it there as she breaks up the seam on the outside. And oh, I don't think it was Stone, actually. I think it was 37 of the Lions, Kaylee Parnell. Let's see what the officials call here, but I suspect it will be on the defense. And they will be marched forward, and that will mark them down on around about the Lions' 2-yard line.
Discipline, discipline, discipline. Has potential to end the drive there.
Yeah, it won't be what the Lions wanted, that's for sure. And the Sharks, no doubt, will want to get not just 6 points, but a 2-point conversion to even up the scores as they start 3 yards out. And it's a handoff to Wilkerson, and they are calling for the touchdown, but the officials' hands yet to be raised. And it has been given as a touchdown, and that was number 32, Janine Wilkerson, for the Sharks. And there will be a medical break as well. You just see it there, straight up the middle.
Interior run game from the Sharks, looking very, very menacing so far early on in this game.
Yeah, just picking up 3-4 yards is enough to keep the ball moving. But they've utilised that pass game early as well, so we'll see how the defence of the Lions can adjust. Just waiting for this injury break. Today's halftime show, they will be announcing the raffle prize winners. You may just catch it over our atmospheric mics. They've got some wonderful prizes on offer if you are in the area. A meal platter voucher for one. That's actually a little bit depressing when I say for one, but that's my cup of tea. I'm
right
single
up your street,
for Nando's at Birmingham Bullring. That's I know of one Robbie Jones that very much likes his chicken. Free chicken is even better. We've got a number of other. Darren McFadden, number 20. Los Angeles Raiders jersey, NFL UK. That's nice prizes. Dining tickets. Tapas and cocktails for 2. Lily's Gin cocktail and tapas bar. You don't get much better than that. So you've obviously watched a couple of these games now as well throughout the weekend. What are your thoughts of the football?
The standard's been very, very, very high. You can tell the quality of the coaching is excellent in terms of the play calls, the schemes, the adjustments. It's just, you can see why these teams are the champions of their country, all 3 of them.
Yeah, very much so. As they line up for the extra point. And it looks like it's going to be given. Oh no, it's no good. It's it hit the post high up just above, so that extra point is no good. Stays 8-6 to the Lions.
It's a good start, man, by the Lions. Still got a lead. Offense getting the ball. Hopefully another big return from Hannah Pye.
Yeah, they will need that. Of course, Hannah Pye bringing it all the way to the Lions half in the first on the first kick return. Today's game sponsored by Ace Embroidery. They've kindly supplied the game balls for today. I don't know if you've had a look at them, but they are very, very nice. So, say, sponsored the game balls today. So the Sharks lining up to take the kick. Hannah Pye and Ruth Matter, the kick returners deep to the other side of the end zone from us, the other side of the field from us.
Interesting having such a long huddle before kickoff.
We'll see if they've discussed anything. Cheeky little onside kick, that's what you'd want to see here. Always makes for an exciting time when a team elects to do something out of the ordinary. And it is a chip kick. It's going to go out of bounds, so there will be flags on that play for an illegal procedure call. Quite clearly trying to avoid kicking to Hannah Pye and Ruth Matter in the backfield.
So in this situation, would you go for a retake or field position?
I think you take field position here. Field position in this situation will be pretty good, but we'll see what the Lions coaching staff elect to go for. Let's wait for the official's call. That is the signal for a legal procedure. Unfortunately, our ref's mic not been working all weekend. Seems to be a technical fault with that, and we do apologise. We'll do our best to call the penalties. And it looks like they have taken field position, so they'll be marked on the 35-yard line. In fact, it looks like they've marked them on the 33-yard line there. And Matter motioning across, receiving the handoff, and she finds a seam upfield, and it's going to be a nice pickup for her, around about 5 yards. You may have seen on our intro to the show today some images of some mighty fine looking motorcycles. Did you see that? You saw them?
I have.
You see them behind us as well?
Very nice.
Yeah. They have come down from the Harley Davidson store at Solihull. So the Lions would very much like to thank them for the support of the tournament and for coming and showing the faces here and building up the crowd. And it is another, it's a bit of a poor pitch, but it's to Ruth Matter nonetheless, and she's going to come up short of the first, I would think there. We'll see where they mark her, but should be 3rd and inches. Which is where they've spotted it. Kilby, it didn't look like the most comfortable pitch there as she kind of loops it over, but Matter's eyes never left that football, and picking up a good 4-yard chunk.
Risky game that, but playmaking ability there.
Number 34 of the Lions, Morgan, we saw get handoffs a couple of times, and that was a big thud from her as she lead blocks to try and get Matter over the line, and it looks like they are going to give her the first down.
One thing I think everyone can appreciate from this weekend, the football has been long drives. It's not been quick one-off plays going for big scores.
Yeah, drives very much maintained. So the Lions coming out here with the first down. See what they can bring to try and get things moving again. Kilby in the backfield. And a motion coming across. It's Matter on the motion. And she's going to follow her lead blocker, but nowhere to go as the Sharks wrap her up in the backfield.
And the Sharks do a great job of bottling up that jet sweep that time. Punches in on the play.
So after that play, it looks like they're going to mark her for a 2-yard loss. Going to be a 2nd and 12. Going to have to get Mata moving, try and find her in other sections of the field, not just the running game. The Sharks perhaps keyed in on where this football is likely to go. It's Morgan in the backfield, just moving sides. Perhaps Kilby sees something. Mata in the slot. And Kilby looking to pass. And she has her receiver open downfield. A short pickup, but a pickup nonetheless. And it looks like it was Hannah Pye who was the receiver on that play.
Having a good game for herself early on.
Yeah, very much so. The Lions not getting much going in the passing game last night. So they'll be looking to try and pick some yards up through the air. Coming out 3rd and 5 in that 2-back set. Morgan in front of Mata. See if they go to that again, but it's a play action. Kilby rolls out to her left. She thinks she's going to be able to run it in, and she won't be far off, that's for sure, as the sideline gives a roar on the Lions side. And they will be given the 1st down. You see it there.
Another bootleg. Scored a 2-point conversion from it yesterday.
And looks like they have been given that first just by the hairs of the football. It'll be a 34-yard line now for the Lions. They've managed to maintain this drive quite well. Coming up perhaps on 3rd downs once too many times for their liking, but they'll try and keep this drive going, that's for sure. Trips to the right-hand side. Morgan lined up to the right-hand side of Kilby as well. And they look to pass to the isolated receiver. It's picked off by the Sharks, number 18, and she's going to go and take a nice chunk back for the defense, and she's still got a little more fight as she goes down around about the Lions' 41-yard line. And that is Nandi Brown. We've called her name a couple of times with the earlier tackle for loss, and that time an interception.
Sharks getting the first turnover of the game.
Nicely undercut there by the defensive back. Ball placement wasn't too bad. That's just an all-round good play by the DB.
That's what you like to see. That's the 2nd time defensive backs, 3rd time defensive backs have proved you wrong in the last 24 hours. Is that not fair to say?
I've never said they're not football players.
No, but you said they can't catch.
True. Maybe it's just you.
Well, yeah, we know that I can't catch. That's couldn't catch a cold in the Arctic. And that will go to the ground as Mulligan looks for a receiver over the middle.
2nd and 10 now, New York.
We'll see what they can muster here. 2nd and 10. Mulligan in the backfield, that bunch set to the top side of your screens, the right-hand side of the offense. Mulligan handing off to the big, powerful running back who's found a nice space in the interior of the defense. Going to pick up the 1st down and more. And that was a big, big pickup.
Big gain on the play there.
And that was.
Sharks offense looking unstoppable at this period of time in the game.
Yeah, very much so. Don't appear to have a name for the running back there of the Sharks. I do apologise. You will be labelled as a number and not a name.
I'm sure we can find a name for her.
I'm sure we can sort something, but another big pickup for her. And she looks to get to the end zone, but she's going to be pushed out of bounds around the 11-yard marker.
More strong running from the Sharks. They don't really need to go to the air at this point.
No, the Lions are going to have to find some way of stopping that run. That's the 2nd big run that she's made today.
For the Sharks.
Going to be a 1st down on the Lions' 11-yard line this time.
Watch the A-gap pressure there.
And it is a pass this time by Mulligan as she finds a receiver to the left-hand side and bulleted into the chest and well caught. And that was 81, Maggie Natel with the pickup.
Tackle by 38, 50 yards.
So it's going to be a second and third, and the whistle goes up.
That's a pickup of 7, it's going to bring up second and 3.
We'll see what this whistle is for, but it is the end of the first quarter. So they will march downfield at the end of the first quarter. Birmingham Lions 8, New York Sharks 6. When we return during the second, to start the second quarter, they will be well within scoring range.
Good level of offense in the first quarter. Really good to see from both sides. The only blemish being that good interception from New York.
Yeah, both offenses moving the ball, as you say, before that interception. The Sharks certainly getting the run game going, something we didn't see on Friday night, but they found a way to run it all over the Lions, who struggled substantially trying to stop the Wolverines last night.
I assume they'll still be fatigued from yesterday's match against Helsinki.
Helsinki, of course, beating the Lions last night after having played the Sharks on Friday evening. They managed to recuperate well.
Second and 4 now for the Sharks.
So it's second and 4 for the Sharks here. Slightly different formation, 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. And Mulligan in the backfield still as the pressure comes through from the Lions and is, well, broken through.
Yeah, flag on the play.
Snyder again on the carry.
The running back going through.
There is a flag on the play, however.
Wait, you got a name for number 9?
Alexis Snyder. Schneider.
Holding against New York.
On New York, and that's going to back the Sharks up 10 yards.
Yeah, as you say, a hold call there and perhaps some relief for the Lions defense. It's going to bring up a second and 14 for these guys as the engines rev of one of the Harley-Davidson crew. Mulligan spotted something, making some final pre-snap adjustments as she hands off again. No, she doesn't. She rolls out. She's got a receiver open. A
Good
big
tackle.
target, number 25. Fields is the recipient.
Great open field tackle there.
Yeah, very much so. Fields, a big woman to try and take down. And usually you'll see a tight end beat a defensive back, but it was Stone that brought down Fields. So 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 perhaps for the Sharks after that nice little pickup. Mulligan stepping back, pressure coming through from Laura Moore, but caught again by Fields, and it looks like she's going to go in for another score for the Sharks, and Fields getting her name on the stat sheet again.
Mulligan calm and composed there in the pocket then. Nice, simple pass play there for the score. Just a simple shallow route. Acres of space.
Plenty of space, as you say there, Tom. And it looks like they are going to go for 2. And a fast-paced snap. Mulligan looking for the middle, and that will be broken up. So that attempt will be no good. Second 2-point conversion that they haven't managed to complete today. So I've got to name it for number 90. Schneider is the running back for the Sharks that's been so dominant during that first quarter.
Tell you what, the Lions are very lucky to have that 2-point conversion, keeping the scores very close at this stage, even though the Sharks have got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, only a 4-point game for them. 4-point difference for them to try and overcome. Of course, only managing to score 8 points yesterday, so we'll see if they can put some more scores on the doors. And it's Hannah Pye and Ruth Matter, that dynamic duo, looking to return the football. Hannah Pye already had a big return early on. And it looks... we'll see what kind of kick they go for here. Whether they try and just kick it away, keep it away from Hannah Pye and Ruth Matter. And it's another short kick, and that's gone to Stone, who's bubbled it, but we know she can move. She's a quick defensive back, breaking several tackles, but being wrapped up efficiently by the Sharks.
Another short kick there, fielded by Nancy Stone that time.
Both teams opting for the short sky kicks from kickoff, preventing any big return.
Yeah, having said that, it gives good position for the offense. And they're going to start on around about the 34-yard line. So we will see if the offense can try and utilise this field position and get another score on the board. And it looks like on the far sideline we have the team from Finland have turned up to show their support for these women on the field today. The Helsinki Wolverines, of course, having 1 win, 1 loss, so they'll be watching with eager eyes as the ball is tossed to Matter, getting out to the sideline, but no seem to get upfield, and eventually wrapped up by the Sharks.
A good job by the Sharks to string that pitch play out there.
So we have been told we're in a situation actually where a win here by the Lions would mean all 3 teams have got 1 win each, 1 loss each.
Yeah, it's an interesting this three-team tournament format. So the Lions, even though they lost heavy yesterday, still have a chance to win it all.
Yeah, they'd have to put some serious points on the board, I think. But what we've been told is if the Lions do win today, the champion of the tournament will be decided on points against, which is quite traditional in American football. So they will have to stack on a lot of points on the Sharks. And Kilby looking to pass and not finding her target. 83 of the Lions. Who was the intended receiver? Jess Hastings. In fact, I think the Lions may have already allowed too many points to be eligible for the win. So, but it will make things interesting if they can overhaul the Sharks.
Definitely. Well, this is one of the best teams in women's football in the world, the New York Sharks. So the Lions putting a decent performance in now. It would be great to see them come away with a win.
Ruth Matter finding her way to the sideline again and not picking up much there, and a slow line getting up. Kilby looking over to say, what can we do to get this ball moving? 4th down and 5 yards to go. Looks like they're going to bring out the punt team. Was yesterday one of the big issues the Lions had was the punt team, having the early blocked punt, and the Wolverines picking it up in very nice field position. We'll see if they can get this away cleanly. And it's not gone cleanly, that's for sure, and Hastings is brought down. So another issue, the issues keep on coming for the Lions special teams unit. Is going to put these Sharks in great field position, and at this point you can think they might be smelling blood in the water and ready to strike to try and get a 3rd score on the board.
You've been waiting for that pun all weekend, haven't you?
I have not. You make it sound like I stand there and think of puns all day. But great
Wouldn't
work,
surprise me.
great work there by the Sharks defence. Mulligan again in the backfield. Looks like a change of runner again as it's handed off to Wilkerson, number 32. A nice pickup for her at the middle, eventually brought down by Afi Law, the linebacker for the Birmingham Lions. And that's going to be a gain of 8 yards on the play. 2nd and 2 for the Sharks. See if they look to pass or throw. The running game's been very effective for them so far. Don't need to put the ball in the air if you can run like this. And a motion coming across from Capardi as it's handed back off to Wilkerson, who's found a nice gap for the first down.
Great little counterplay there.
Yeah, well designed, and Lions really struggling to stop anything coming up the middle. Big running backs that the Sharks and the Wolverines have brought to the field over these last couple of days have really caused trouble for these Lions, whose defense haven't been able to wrap them up.
Lions do need to come up with a stop soon, otherwise they're going to make an impossible task for their O to make up the deficit.
That big receiver Fields, that close-up shot there of her on the right-hand side of the field as Mulligan drops back to pass, and she's got a receiver in the end zone. It's Capardi, and it looks like they may be called for the touchdown. She is inbounds, and that is another score for the Sharks. Capardi, the receiver there. Mulligan finding her on point. 2 early touchdown passes for her. And you see it there, plenty of time for her, and spots Capardi open over the top of the defensive back, and in she goes.
Number 35 for the Lions, Ellie Thorpe, getting caught in 2 minds there, whether to cover the hitch or the corner route. Mulligan waited patiently, made a read, saw 35 drop down, simple route over the top.
And that is good for the Sharks. So next.
So after falling down to an early 8-0 deficit, Sharks get the next 3 scores on the board. Taking advantage of the good field position there from the botch punt snap. That's the rating score of New York 19.
So I have also just learnt that Tom Henley has been passing off my pens and selling off my pens and giving it away to the raffle ticket. I'm a little bit disappointed really, because that pen was given to me. It was
for a good cause.
It is for a good cause, but that was a quality pen that you've given away. And of course the cause we are raising awareness for, and some money for, of course, is the Birmingham Children's Hospital. And you can find that on the Just Giving site, the Just Giving website, and searching PROCLOUD Trophy, and that will bring that up. So the Sharks looking to kick off again. See if they go back to that short play or whether they try and kick it deep down the throat of the Lions. And it is that high kick again, and fielded well by Stone that time as she's brought down immediately. Flew downfield.
I'm not sure. I fear Law there trying to get a fumble recovery from her own teammate.
Not quite sure what happened there, but of course, as the ball hit the turf, we'd like to thank Ace Embroidery Limited for sponsoring today's game football.
Unorthodox, but
teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So Kilby this time with a different runner in the backfield. We saw her last night a number of times in the 4th quarter. Aston with Mata moving out to the slot. And Kilby will receive that and pass it to Aston in the backfield. but it's not going to be complete. I think it's gone forward. I don't think they call it as a fumble. And as if by magic, they have called it incomplete there. As my pen returns to the commentary booth. It's amazing where these things get to.
More shocking thing is that I gave it to a Samuel Steeler.
No comment. Not dropping myself in it. Stuart Andrews is also around. Kilby again, second down here, 2nd and 10. See if they can get anything going. They struggled on the last drive. Kilby stepping back to pass, and that ball is all over the place, and it was nearly, very nearly picked off by the Sharks. 44, Espinal of the Sharks.
I feel it's a very unique issue for the Lions, where the quality of opposition they play are a significant step below them, so they'll never have practice against those faster DBs, those faster athletes that New York and Helsinki.
And the only way teams do get better is by playing better, stronger teams. And it's a similar sort of situation in international rugby as well, particularly with the Six Nations and the Tier 2 teams not progressing like some would like. And it's a big pickup down the middle, and it looks like Mata was the target, and a nice pitch and catch to her. And an injury down on the field of the Lions. We'll see if we can spot what happened there. Looks like it could be 74, Maz Hughes of the Lions. No, that was out of camera, but Mata found in no man's land. Great throw by Kilby, spotting Mata wide open in the middle. Again, we'd like to thank Ace Embroidery Limited for providing today's game balls, or sponsoring today's game balls. It's great to have them on board, as well as ProCloud themselves for sponsoring the teams today. And of course, the Lions have had some individual sponsorships throughout this tournament. Just looking down the list, we've got likes of Joe Kilby, sponsored by Britballers. For those that are in the know, they provide some excellent clothing options for teams up and down the country. And Nancy Stone, who we've mentioned a couple of times, sponsored by RLW Consulting. And I'm sure we can get a chance to go through the list as we go, but a number of sponsors, which is really quite positive to see the support as Maz Hughes finds her way off the field. So it's going to be first down on the Sharks' 29-yard line this time.
Lions really need a score here on this drive.
Very much so. Mata and Morgan in the backfield, and that pitch to Mata, who's found a seam. She's going to be close to a first down. Are they going to give it her? And it has been given as a first down. Those chains move downfield.
Going back to the simple speed option, and it's worked.
Draw them in, show that we can do other things, and go back to what you know works.
Get Ruth Matter out to the perimeter of the field. Let her find an alley. Go up. Get a 6-point score.
Just inside the Sharks' 20-yard line, spotted on the 19, as Kilby again pitches out to Matter, who picks up short yardage.
Nice cut there from Matter on the option pitch again. It's lifted out by Blue Hall.
Kilby with that rugby-style pitch that time. Going to be a 2-yard pickup for Mata. Second and 8 for the Lions. Cheers from the Lions supporters on the banks of Bournebrook. Kilby looking again to hand that ball off to Mata, trying to find a gap through the middle, but not left with a lot of space to go. Will be a nice little pickup though. maybe 3 yards. 3rd and 5. As one of the Sharks limps off. And that is a Lions timeout this time. And just as we've got this timeout, we'll continue running down this list. Got a number of other Lions team members that have had sponsorships today. Wiki Yorans, sponsored by Miyagi. Miyagi, is it Miyagi? How would you say it, Tom?
Sure. I think Miyagi.
And Nina Killick, the Bradgate magazine. So again, thanks to them for sponsoring some of these players out here in Lions uniform. See what the Kilby family can pull together. Of course, they are related. I think they're brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Not a bad little program they built with Wayne Hill.
No, the Lions have done a great job, and a lot of support from the Lions, the whole Lions program. And Kilby coming out under centre, and Morgan and Matter again in the backfield. And it is a play-action pass. Kilby going to look deep into the end zone, and it's not going anywhere. She had a receiver running into the end zone. She's actually seen Hannah Pye coming across the field, and that's going to fall incomplete and bring up a 4th and 5th for the Lions.
So a big decision to make now on 4th down for Birmingham.
What do you do as a coach? Attempt the field goal or go for it?
Yeah, if you put up a field goal here, it puts you back into a 1-score game. 8 points down, but a 1-score game. All you do as they're doing here and risk it and go for that first down. As Kilby steps back to pass, pressure coming round, and she's going to get sacked on the 4th. 3 Sharks wrapping her up. Chelsea Alt, the first defensive line woman there, before her teammates eventually bring her down. And that won't be what the Lions wanted, a big stand from the Sharks.
The Lions can't allow a score here. They simply can't. The Sharks are going to get the ball back after the half. Be a very different proposition if they're 2 more scores ahead by the next Lions possession.
Yeah, so we'll see what can be done here. The Lions really need a defensive stop, preferably a 3 and out, to keep them with some time left on the clock. As Mulligan looks to pass that short play underneath, let the receiver do the work. It looks like it's Capardi, the receiver that time.
Quick completion there to Capardi.
A nice pick up by her. Something all quarterback should aspire to do, make everyone else do the work.
A nice pick up at 7 yards there.
Now, of course, Mulligan sees something. It was a nice read to spot Capardi open underneath and allow the athleticism of her to get a few yards. 8-yard pick up there. Mulligan handing off that time to Schneider, and a big run from her. Eventually wrapped up on the 40-yard line.
Really added something to this ground game here for New York.
The ground game, not something that we saw working at all on Friday night for New York, but clearly they think they can keep punching this down the throat of the Lions. And the Sharks are going to keep moving this ball forward on the drive. Mulligan with Schneider in the backfield again. See if they go back to that. No, it is a pass out to Capardi once more, and she's going to break a tackle. We'll see if they mark her short or whether they give her the first. It's going to be close, that's for sure. Where did that knee go down? And the chains move downfield. They're going to give her the first down just by inches.
Big ask for the Lions D, especially their D line having to go again from last night.
Need to get a stop here, really do. In other news from around the country, Hertfordshire are beating Portsmouth 6-0 as Fields dropped the football in that Division 2 South final. That looks like a whistle has gone up. And that is the officials' 2-minute warning. And on that note, we would like to thank PROCLOUD, a company based in Lichfield, Staffordshire, providing creative software solutions. And you can find so 2-minute warning just gone. 2nd and 10 after that incomplete pass. And Mulligan dropping back, looking for Fields again. Another drop, second drop for Fields, and she will be fuming.
Exact same corner route.
Second drop as well, and not loads of pressure, perhaps enough pressure for her just to sense it. And sometimes as a receiver you feel or you hear footsteps behind you, and it can be enough just to knock you off bounds. And had decent separation from the Lions defensive back, but unable to bring it in that time.
Just no pressure getting anywhere near Mulligan in the pocket.
No, and we've actually seen that throughout the tournament, I think it's fair to say. As a quarterback, I think it's your kind of style as Capardi catches the ball but stumbles down to the ground. You'd be very proud of your offensive line if they gave you as much time as this.
Oh, 100%.
So going forward on fourth and 8. Mulligan in the backfield. Run or pass. We've seen that they can run it this distance. Pressure coming from the Lions, and they have gone for the run. And Schneider is going to be very, very close. I think she has picked up. Yes. And they went for the run. Read the pressure from the Lions, and away she goes for the first down.
When you've got a run game like that, why not just keeping the ball on the ground?
Takes away any risk of putting the ball in the air. Big, powerful running back. Just kept the legs driving enough to get the first down.
Caught the Lions by surprise there as well, definitely.
1st and 10 on around about the 29-yard line for the Sharks. Mulligan just calling out to her receivers. Perhaps she spotted something. Nancy Stone stood deep as Mulligan looks to the left-hand side, and it's a dropped pass by 81 of the Sharks, Maggie Nattel. 2nd and 10 for these Sharks. See what they can do here on the 2nd down, whether they go to the ground or whether they try and air it out. The clock has stopped, of course, after that incomplete pass. We are in the 2-minute situation. And Mulligan looking deep. She's got a receiver over the middle and steps 5 yards out, and it is a score for the Sharks. No flags on the play, and it was number 40, Crystal Molina, with the grab and score.
Looking injured there, coming off that great grab.
Yeah, very much fallen on top of as she goes down, but remains on the field. And you just see it there, Mulligan finds her wide open between the safety and the defensive back, and straight in, and there you go. That just coming down on her knee there, but does get back up under her own power. And they are going for the extra point here. Molina the holder, and a kick that is good. Another point for the Sharks, and they are racking up the scores now. 26-8 and this is a very, very similar scoreline to that of the Helsinki, the Sharks game that we saw at half-time, where the Sharks actually didn't manage to get another point on the board, so perhaps hope yet for the Lions. We are still early days.
We're approaching that disaster situation for the Lions. If they've got to try a quick 2-minute drill. Definitely can't allow a pick six.
So we'll see. No doubt they'll go to that high kick again. Then Natala's been putting up there as she counts her team members.
The Lions have come out and adjusted, leaving just Hannah Pye back. Ruth Matter's gone forward to more of an up-back position.
And if they do opt to go for that high kick, that's going to fall and play right into what the Lions want, with Ruth Matter perhaps able to catch the football and maybe get something going for these Lions. And that is that high ball. Stone the target again. Clean catch as Mata tries to block for her and eventually brought down just shy of the 50-yard line. Andy Brown, the tackler on special teams for the Sharks. Stone, that's her third return. And again, puts that short kick, puts the Lions offense in good starting field position. They need to get a score on the board. We are deep in the 2-minute warning of the first half, and the Lions will want to get something on. Even if it's just a field goal at this point, I think they've not managed to get their offense going like they did in the first quarter. Kilby looking to pass, and it is a draw to Mata, who has got a big seam. Oh, and nearly breaking the tackle, but that was number 18 by Nandi Brown. Nandi Brown, the tackler, the earlier interceptor. And it was a nice design draw, and it looked like Mata was going to get open, but Brown just doing enough to bring her down. Wonderful play by the defensive back. And that is a timeout.
What a fantastic open field tackle there.
Yeah, it really was. Just doing enough. Looked like Ruth Mata was going to break the tackle, but Nandi doing enough just to put onto the deck. And that's what you want to see from a defensive back. No fear. Just while we've got this timeout, just looking down this list of players sponsors, Abby Fitzgerald, sponsored by Ace PA Hire. And thank you to them for sponsoring her today. And the Lions are coming out again on offense. Second down, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 4 perhaps, 2nd and 6 perhaps, as Kilby starts in a shotgun formation. Play action, rolling out to a right, pressure on, and that ball is going to come short of her intended target, Hannah Pye. Not the most comfortable throw by the looks of it. Kilby doesn't appear to be quite on form, not a usual confident self. Pressure coming around the corner. That was number 1, Chelsea Alt of the Sharks. 3rd down, 3rd and 7 for these Sharks here. Easton in the backfield with Mata. Kilby in shotgun with Hannah Pye and the slot on the right hand side. Mata moving up to the line, and it is a handoff to Easton, and she's trying to find a gap. It's going to be a pickup, perhaps 1, maybe 2 yards. If they're lucky, going to bring up a 4th down. What do you think was going through their mind there? And that will be what's going through their mind. Timeout with 9 seconds left. Do you think they're going for it?
I'd just ideally hold the ball and wait till the clock to run down.
No, too conservative.
But
Gotta be aggressive here, I think. So it looks like they are going for it here. Kilby coming out. Ruth, Matter and Aston in the backfield.
Interesting formation if they were going to throw anything deep.
And Kilby, that's an interesting play as Matter gets the ball on the reverse play, and she's going to be close to the first, whether they get it. And it does look like it's going to be signalled from the far official, and it is a first down. Now, whether she got out of bounds, I'm not quite sure, as I think the Lions are out of time. Let's see. That was a nice play there. Certainly going to get the 1st and 10. The officials perhaps discussing whether the clock was stopped or not in time.
Interesting. With 1 second left, it'd be interesting to see what the teams can do. Turnover on downs, short by inches, it seems.
It looks like it maybe marked short. There was some discussion there by the officials, so Lions will be very disappointed. It will leave a second left on the clock, as you say, Tom, for these Sharks to try and get a score.
With Mulligan's deep passing ability, it's always a dangerous proposition.
She's already thrown for 3 touchdowns, so a good game from her so far.
Do you think she'll have sight on a record of 7 passing TDs in the last game for the New York Sharks?
Well, why not? Got to go for it. And as Mulligan does step back, looking for a target, a deep, deep ball, but well covered up.
Oh, there's going to be one more play as well, a flag on the field.
Yeah, that will be, as you say, another play. See what happens here on the replay. It will likely be pass interference on the defence as Mulligan looked deep to a target, and that was very much pass interference. And as it was, the clock will be on 0, but as it was a defensive penalty, it means they'll get the opportunity to take this play, as it cannot end on a defensive penalty.
So it is pass interference called on the Lions, which will move the ball forward 15 yards, and as the official just said there, you didn't hear it, the half can't end on a defensive penalty, so there's 1 untimed down left.
As the official has said there, it will be 1 untimed down. We'll see, it looks like they're going to go for the end zone again. They've got Brown on the field, number 5, and Fields to the right-hand side. Mulligan.
Interesting Lions not playing prevent.
Yeah, very much. And Mulligan rolling out to her right-hand side. She's spotted Fields deep, and that is going to be incomplete. And the end of the first half. And on that note, it is the New York Sharks 26, the Birmingham Lions 8. During the half-time, if you stay with us, you will see the raffle drawn on the field. Alternatively, you can join our other stream that Onside Productions are doing today, the Division 2 final between the Hertfordshire Cheetahs and the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. But if you do go over there to watch the second quarter, they're about midway through over there. If you do head over there, please do come back to us in around about 10 minutes when our second half will kick off. Thank you for joining us for this first half. We look forward to giving you this stream once more during the second half. Thank you.
We are the official UK distributors of retailers for Riddell, Rawlings, Wilson Footballs, Nike and Under Armour. This gives us the largest range of products in the UK. We also offer team merchandise. We can supply a full range of clothing, all printed and embroidered in-house. Please feel free to visit our showroom at 8 Hill Lane Industrial Estate, Markfield, Leicester, LE67 9PM.
So welcome back after that half-time break. As you can see in the top of your screen, if you do want to get involved with us, please use the hashtag BIRVSNYS, Burvers Nice. How would you pronounce that? But it's an NYS anyway, New York Sharks.
NYS.
BIR versus.
At least it's not the healthy fiasco of yesterday.
Well, we learned an interesting fact about that. I should also apologise for yesterday. I apparently named the Icelandic team as a Scandinavian net. It was a bobbled kick return and picked up. Yeah, apparently they're not actually a Scandinavian country, but they are a Nordic country. So I do apologise for any viewers at home that spotted that mistake.
Very big of you to apologise.
It's all right. It was a new fact. I thought they were part of Scandinavia. Apparently they're not. So, but they are a Nordic country. So the Sharks coming out on offence then, 26-8 up. No doubt will want to try and put some more points on the board early on. Mulligan already throwing for 3 touchdown passes, and that earlier run from Wilkerson are their scores so far. Ruth Matter, the only scorer for the Lions, as they hand off to Wilkerson, who is wrapped up ably by the Lions defence for a short pickup. 2nd and 9 for the Sharks. See if they opt to run or pass here. Mulligan has thrown throughout this game and thrown consistently with a lot of velocity on the football, finding her target with near pinpoint precision. Mulligan looks like she'll be under centre this time as she fakes the handoff, rolls out to her left. Moore comes across deep downfield and just overthrowing her receiver. Looks like Natel was the intended target deep down the left-hand side of the field.
Interesting, the adjustment to going under centre from Mulligan rather than being in the true spread.
Yeah, different look that time. Perhaps trying to make it look like a run, and it was a nice play-action play by her. Plenty of time before Moore spotted that it wasn't a run and got outside. Defensive line really needs to step up and stop any run offense that these Sharks try and put down them. Mulligan this time in her shotgun stance, 3 receivers to the right. Natel at the bottom of your screen as Mulligan looks to the left and throws to the right, and she has a receiver open. It looks like number 5, Jennifer King, who was Friday night's MVP for the Sharks. Nice pickup for King.
Such a beautiful ball there. Tight spiral, right in the correct placement. Yeah. Lovely to see.
Just looking, plenty of time as well. No real pressure from the defensive line as they all bunched in the middle. And as you say, nice pass to King. 1st down, Sharks. Mulligan again. Shotgun 2 right, 2 left. And it is a handoff this time to Wilkerson as she finds a gap up the middle eventually. Well, thought she was going to be brought down. There's a flag on the play, perhaps in the region of face mask. We'll see what the official spotted there. Nancy Stone was the tackler that eventually got Wilkerson there.
We will wait for confirmation on the call.
See what these are. Possible calls from our cameraman who's got an aerial view. May well have been a chock block rather than the face mask that we're calling for, but see what the official calls. And that is 1 point to me and no points to the cameraman.
He's got a name.
You keep doing your job. I don't want to call him out. I don't want to call him by name. We will call Alex Campbell out on his request. I think he's just trying to push his name forward. No, Alex Campbell doing a great job on the aerial camera so far. Of course, we've got John Swift down here. I love that name, John Swift. For a long time, we called him John Snow. It isn't. It is John Swift. I don't even know where that came from, but Mulligan this time on the first down, stepping back, pressure that time, but caught by Natal, who breaks a tackle. She breaks two and eventually brought down by Laura Moore of the Lions. Laura Moore, an experienced linebacker, a former teammate of Phoebe Schechter, as the Wasps invade our booth.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Wayne Hill has
tactically left a Coke
tactically left, as you say, a sugary drink. Of course, other drinks are available. That has proven that the Wasps very much like it, as Mulligan hands off to Wilkerson up the middle, this time wrapped up well by the Lions. So second and short that was. Whether they quite get the first, we will see. Looks like they some confusion there on the sideline as to whether it is a first down or not, and it has been given as a first and goal for the Lions. So just by the end of the football, again another handoff up the middle, not quite enough for the score.
Wilkerson again on the carry.
Wilkerson, the ball carrier that time, as Tom swats off another Wasp.
Second and goal now.
Second and goal here. Mulligan, Wilkerson in the backfield. Jennifer King in the slot for the Sharks. Pressure coming, but she is going to go through. Wilkerson with her second rushing touchdown of the game.
Things looking very ominous for the Lions here.
Very much, and they've not been able to stop the run nor the pass, and the Lions are really suffering now.
As a coach, how do you think you'd rally your sideline with a deficit this big?
Well, I would sing bare necessities, as you know all too well.
Very unorthodox.
It was very unorthodox, but we did get the win that day, did we not?
Long time ago, but yeah.
So lining up here is Natal for the extra point, as Jay Alexander stomps all over the very expensive technology by our side, and that looks like it is good.
And Natal converts the touchdown. And that's going to bring up a score now of 33 points to the Sharks.
Across it on our other stream today, and it's just gone into the half-time break with the Hertfordshire Cheetahs leading over the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts 6-0. That, of course, is the Division 2 South final that's going on today. The North final happened yesterday. See if they opt to go for that short kick once more. At this point, they are a substantial margin up. New York Sharks 33, Birmingham Lions 8. Of course, you can get involved with us here today using the hashtag BirVsNYS. That's BIR versus NYS. You can just see that at the top of your screens there. And had one in from Sarah Sheepkeeper. Love what my New York Sharks are doing in the UK at the Pro Transatlantic Trophy. Bring it home at Mully 3059. I'd assume that is Mulligan, who has had a phenomenal game so far. And I do apologise, Sarah, if I said Sheepkeeper, I'm not thinking of my livestock at home, as Natal puts the ball in the air, and this time caught well by Hannah Pye, who looks for a seam up the middle. It's a nice pickup as Alt, the number 1 jersey, brings her down just shy of the 30-yard line there.
I think it's pretty safe to say that the trophy's probably going back to New York.
Yeah,
at this point.
I think you're probably right, although I never like to call a game this early. And of course, we'd love to see these Lions get a score on the board. Well, the teams come back onto the field. We like to sponsor teams, like to thank the team sponsors: PROCLOUD, who of course have got their names stamped across the title, the PROCLOUD Trophy, based in Lichfield, Staffordshire in the United Kingdom. They are a creative software solution, and they have very kindly sponsored us, sponsored the teams today. Lions coming out here, 1st and 10, 3 receivers to the right, Kilby in the backfield. Matter, of course, the running back to her left-hand side as they go to that pitch option, beating Alt to the edge, and it looks like it is Brown, the tackler. She's had a great game from her defensive back position. Nandi Brown there, 2nd and maybe 6. Good pickup from the Lions, just trying to keep the ball moving forward. I think more importantly, just to build their confidence, Tom, they've got to get a first down. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. Focus on the basics first. Try and move the chains down the field. Hopefully get a few more scores in this game.
So it will be 2nd and 6. Matter this time line up to the right-hand side of Kilby. And Kilby this time opting to take it. She's found a seam. She's going to get the first and a little bit more for her efforts. Good running by Kilby. As the official picks up the football from the ground, we'd also like to thank Ace Embroidery for sponsoring today's game day sponsor here today. And thank head official Andrew Morell, who's leading the officials today as well. Doing a good job. Three to the right. Kilby and that option again. Passing to Matter, but it's all gone wrong and it's fumbled forward and it's going to go out of bounds. We'll see whether they've called her down after she managed to recover the football. We'll see where the ball will be spotted there as the ball rolled out of bounds 5 yards upfield. But her knee may well have gone down on the line of scrummage.
Mr. UK Dukes having a bit of a play with the football there in the background.
Is that Kenny?
Yeah.
Pretending he can play basketball with the spinning on the finger. I don't know. I'm not gonna argue with him. He's got more skills than he can catch, and I can't. So it does appear we're playing by NCAA rules, so the ball will be spotted at where the fumble took place, not where the ball went out of bounds. As Kilby lines up, 3 to the right-hand side. Kilby looking to her right. Hannah Pye, the target, breaking one tackle, finding a little gap up the middle for a short pickup. A completion to Hannah Pye. Caught a couple of footballs today.
Strong running by Hannah Pye again.
Very much so. It's going to bring up a 3rd and maybe 7 yards.
That's a pick up there of 4 yards, and that's going to be 3rd and 6 now for Birmingham. They look to keep the drive alive.
3rd and 6, as our scoreboard suggests. So again, that triple sect to the right. Kilby looking out, Matter to the left. Kilby opting to run it. She is going to be short of the first down. It will bring up a 4th and maybe 2. See where they do spot her down. Actually, it looks like it's going to be around 3 yards to try and pick up. So I think she was called unfairly there. I think she made an extra yard, but the officials have spotted her there. So that's where they will play from. 4th and 3rd for the Lions. Again, opting for the triple receiver threat. And that speed option to Ruth Matter. Defence is coming in. And Nandi Brown coming in for the hit. Nandi Brown there. She's been playing football since the age of 8. Her father, Pat Brown, is a long-time Sharks broadcast announcer. holds record for most punt returns in a single season for the Sharks, and she has had a phenomenal game from her defensive back position. Turnover there, Tom, not what these Lions will have wanted.
No, as we discussed earlier, focus for the Lions has to be getting the first down every single time and progressing the chains down the field, coming up short there.
And of course this weekend, not just about football, it is also about raising some awareness and some funds for the Birmingham Children's Hospital. You can find the link at the Just Giving website and searching for PROCLOUD Trophy as they run through a big, powerful run from Schneider as they pick up the first down. An 11-yard pickup there.
Even though the score is, well, not just before out of hand, it's a good experience still for the Lions having a game against such good opposition.
Very much so, as the bulldozer engine goes, big stiff arm, powering through, shoveling Lions out of the way and finding route upfield. Nice pickup by her. The clock will keep ticking. That big stiff arm, not something that you'd want to be involved with, Tom.
Not at all. Help anyone who's trying to tackle her.
Yeah, it looked like a counterplay to the left.
Mean running.
She really built up some speed quick. There's that handoff, and then looking to go through the tackler, and eventually brought down by Joran. And a pass completion to Fields. It's going to be another first as Stone eventually brings her down.
The Sharks don't run anything overly complicated, they just execute the simple things very, very well.
And sometimes that's all you need, and you can see they have marched downfield. It does appear there might be a flag down as well. And that will be declined. It was an offside penalty on the Birmingham Lions. Perhaps a little eager to try and jump the mark, to hit the quarterback, hit the running back, as they've not managed to stop either during this game. So, a change of pace on this drive. Quarterback change. Ayala, the quarterback, in as she hands off to the big runner who marches in to the end zone.
Light work there.
All over that. A big, powerful back. I don't even think the likes of Wayne Hill would want to try and take her down. As he finally removes the Coke, the wasp trap, from our commentary position, only to put it back down again, right in front of yourself, Tom.
It's nice seeing a former coach care about his players.
They line up here for the extra point. As Alt kicks it up, puts it up, and it is another score. Another point to add to that already growing margin. 40 points to 8 for the Sharks. The Lions, I think, will very much be licking their paws, licking their wounds after that defensive drive.
40 points to the New York Sharks and 8 to the Birmingham Lions.
As you say, Tom, though, having to play this tough competition is only going to help them improve moving forward.
Oh, 100%. Every game after this for the Lions will be that little bit easier. They know the standard they want to set themselves. The culture set up in the Lions program is they set their own goals, their own targets. They go out and set their own standard. And playing a team like New York, they'll know their next goal is to reach the standard that New York have.
Yeah, and by no means, as you said earlier, if they invited 2 other weak teams, national champions are the Helsinki Wolverines, and this team, the Division 2 champions across in the States, and those challenges really do help progress a club. And And no doubt they'll be disappointed that they haven't got the offense or the defense working like they should with the special teams unit either, but they'll have had a lot of learning. And as we mentioned yesterday, they've only played 2.5 hours worth of 11-a-side football, so they cannot. They can say that they're certainly proud. That's for sure. As that kick goes down to Hannah Pye and collects it and looks to go, and another tackle, and that's Nandi Brown again. She's been all over the place, Nandi Brown. But no, the Lions, I think, can say that they've done themselves proud. They haven't got a win, but they've shown glimmers of what they can do.
Oh, 100%. If they can get a few more scores in this tournament, it'll be a good outing by the Lions.
Yeah, very, very much. I think they'd be happy to get a score here deep into the third quarter now at this point. Of course, you can get in touch with us today using the Twitter hashtag BIRVSNYS. That's Bur vs NYS, New York Sharks, of course. So they break from the huddle. Kilby still at the helm. Ruth Matter in the backfield. Going out in that bunch set. 2 tight receivers. Morgan in the backfield, who will be lead blocking for Matter, who picks up a yard or 2. Flag on the play. Nandi Brown again, the tackler. I'd like to think that she would be in line for an MVP award today, but so many great players on the offense as well for the Sharks. Mulligan, who's had a wonderful, wonderful day, throwing 3 touchdown passes. Wilkerson running in twice, and of course Schneider running in for that last score. We'll see what the flag is here.
And it's a personal foul called on the Lions offense.
And that is a personal foul on the Lions offense, a face mask call against the Lions offense, which usually means one of the blockers has tried to bring somebody down by the face cage. This is going to be a 1st and 20. Morgan in the backfield with Kilby. See if they can dig deep and find a way to move the ball. No pressure on Kilby, but can't find the target. Ruth Matter asking for the flag as the defensive back was chomping at her heels. And it does look like they're going to give that as a no-go. It's going to be a 2nd and 20 this time for the Lions.
But either way, the pass ball's incomplete, and that is going to be round 2nd down.
Frustrating day for the Lions again.
Yeah, very much so. See if they can find anything here. A big chunk of yardage needed to pick up the 1st down. Morgan in the backfield behind Kilby. And Kilby looking to pass time again. Finds her receiver in Hannah Pye, who tries to break the tackle and maybe gets it down to the original line of scrimmage. Sorry, to the original 1st down marker. So it'll be 3rd and 10. 10-yard pickup that time by Hannah Pye.
Hannah Pye having a sneaky good game for herself today.
Yeah, caught a couple of footballs and made a few yards after those catches. Kilby finding a nice grab by Pye, trying to break that 1st tackle, but well wrapped up by the Sharks. Swarming around like they're hunting shoals of fish.
Awful pun. That was terrible. Expect better from you, George. Granted, a lot better than Sharknado, though.
Kilby again, stepping back 3rd and 10. She's going to try and scramble here, but the pressure's too much, and she's going to be brought down. Maybe going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Perhaps they'll mark her forward for a couple of yards. We'll see what spot they are. It's on the far side of the field from us. It's going to be, they are going to give it a small pickup of around about 3 yards as the punt team takes over for the Lions. And it looks like Nandi Brown, the punt returner, as we've already mentioned, she holds the record for the club for the most punt returns in a single season for these Sharks. I'm not seeing much of Jennifer King during this game, the MVP. We've called her a couple of times. She got a nice pickup earlier on as the punt gets away cleanly, and it lands on the 50-yard line and rolls to the Sharks' 40, maybe 41-yard line there. So the Sharks will... You may have just caught that by our announcer. That is the end of the third quarter for this game. So at the current score, it's going to be 40 points to the New York Sharks, 8 points to the Birmingham Lions.
Lions got to grind in deep here. Their defense hopefully stop this score from building even more. What would you do if you were a New York coach? Would you just run the ball, kill the clock, or would you want to run up the score?
They've come a long way to just kill the clock. But to be fair, throughout this tournament, everybody's shown great respect to each other. They've changed into, they've put their backup quarterback in. I believe she is still in Ayala. Yeah, number 14, that is Danielle Ayala. And a different running back in as well, by the looks of it, in Hadisha Butts. Let's see what they do opt to do here. And it is a run by Butts. 5-yard pickup there. So the clock will tick away. We are in the fourth quarter. 11-minute quarters. Nice first pickup by her.
Pick up a 5 on the plate and your second at 5.
And it's going to be a pass this time by Ayala, who finds her receiver to the right-hand side of the field in number 15, Fontaines. Fontaines there, and there is a flag on the play. Is in the backfield, so perhaps a hold call. We'll see what they call here.
Good gang tackling in pursuit there from the Lions defense. Nice to see them still competing this late into the game.
Yeah, very much so. Unfortunately, that will be going back for a repeat of second downs, a 10-yard penalty on the hold. Of course, you can get in touch with us today using the Twitter hashtag BirVersNYS. That's BIRVSNYS. We've had Courtney Elizabeth tweeting, "My lady's last game as a New York Shark. Love this team and everything we stand for." Thank you kindly for tweeting us as Ayala drops deep and completes it to Capardi, who ducks underneath one, going for more. She's going to pick up the first down, perhaps. Maybe Sophia Law brings her down. Capardi ducking and weaving wherever she needed to go. Great play by her, showing her athleticism, and it is going to be given as a first down. The chains will move, a little bit of a hesitation there. Great play by her, Afia Law, the tackler, who eventually gets her down. Kia Lee Basukov, also tweeting in, watching the NY Sharks make me super excited to play in New York next year. I probably won't be as excited in 4 hours when I have to be up at 5 a.m. for work. Good on you, I get that. Early starts are a real killer. As Ayala sits in that backfield, calling out her adjustments, and a hand off to Butts, and a nice pickup by her, and it's fumbled out, but whether they call her down, I'm not sure. And the official aggressively pointing to the ground, and it does look like it's going to be ruled down by contact by these officials. Again, another tweet in from Sarah Shakipa. I'd love to see the Birmingham Lions loosen up those splits on O-line. It'll help their run game for sure. Thank you for that comment. Again, thank you for following us. And again, that replay actually looks like she may not have been down, but officials have called it. So, Phil Martin saying, great broadcast. Thank you. Thank you, Phil, for watching. And they go on 2nd and 4. After perhaps a controversial call, but not going to be much of a game changer at this point. Ayala looking deep, going right side. She's got Capardi open. It's complete to Capardi, who breaks one tackle and gains a little bit more. And just juggling the football after she goes to the ground.
Sophia Law with the tackle there.
Yeah, 12 yards out from another score. Ayala showing that it's not just Mulligan that can throw for this team. They have some depth all over the field. Capardi, she's also another player that's had a great tournament, and they'll be very happy. If you do want to get in touch, as we've said, BIR versus NYS, please do tweet in. We'll try and read it out during this 4th quarter. Ayala again set in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right-hand side, but it is a handoff to Butts, who tries to step out left and eventually brought down again. Law all over the place on this drive, making a 3rd tackle. It looks like we may have an injury on the ground, an injured Lion. I'm not quite sure. We've got a number there.
Possibly Laura Moore.
Possibility. We'll see if we can spot it on the replay in just 1 second. Well, we do have this injury timeout. We'd like to thank Ace Embroidery Limited for sponsoring today's game, the game day sponsor, and thank you kindly for them. And of course, PROCLOUD, the team sponsor, a team based in Lichfield, Staffordshire, and thank you kindly for sponsoring the teams this weekend. Let's see if we can just pick up a number. And just steps, a beautiful step to get through the first, and no, it looks like 99. It looks like Alex Watson may be the injured player. Alex Watson, I hope she is okay. Of course, this weekend is not just about football, it's also about raising awareness and some money for the Birmingham Children's Hospital, and you can find the campaign on the Just Giving website and searching the PROCLOUD trophy. So over in our other game today, the Hertfordshire Cheetahs have just put on another score. It is 12-0 and around about 5 minutes in the 4th quarter. Sorry, the 3rd quarter.
And Alex Wade's unable to leave the field under her own power, which is a bonus.
So they come out after that injury timeout, 2nd and 7.
So after a pick for 3 yards on the play there on the carry from Butts, it's going to be 2nd and 7 now for the Sharks. As they look to tack on another score.
2nd and 7 and deep into Lions territory. Can the Lions stand tall as they run straight into the end zone? What a great play. It looks like Butts was the ball carrier to get her first score of the day. Another 6 points for her, and a wonderful, wonderful play design, as I think even our cameraman may have lost the football there. We'll have a look on the replay. And here you go, Butts the handoff, straight up the middle, and Capardi the motion play, drawing the eye. Great play by them to get that in. Alt lines up for the extra point, and it is good, tacking on another point. They have had a scoring fiasco. Fiasco is the wrong word. That's not what I was looking for, was it? Fiesta.
Fiesta.
That was what I was looking for.
Scoring party, I believe.
A scoring party.
Frenzy, yeah. Frenzy's another one you could have used.
Many words beginning with F that could have been used for the amount of scores that they've put on today. So Hannah Pye this time acting as the up-back, with Mata deep in the backfield. So again, over in that other game, that Division 2 South final, Hertfordshire Cheetahs are up 12-0 in the third quarter. Of course, being in that situation, I believe they've got promotion. It's a little bit of a funny situation.
The teams all have promotion already. It's just a top of the South game.
So congratulations to the Roughnecks, the Aberdeen Roughnecks, the Aberdeen Roughnecks, the Hertfordshire Cheetahs, the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. Wayne Hill about knocks himself out on our gazebo. And of course the Chester Romans, who have been a real powerhouse in Division 2 over the last couple of years, as well as the ball isn't going to quite get out. Yes, it is. They are going to mark it just out, and that will be an illegal procedure penalty. We'll see where they mark this football.
Do you keep your starters on the field at this point and try and go for more scores, or do you give everyone else some reps?
It's difficult because I think the Lions would like to get some points on the score, but they were down big yesterday and opted to put in their second strings as they are in Easton, running the football, and they had the change of quarterback as well. So we'll see what they opt to do. Natalie Parker, of course, was the quarterback that came in during the fourth quarter.
Took a huge hit yesterday.
Yeah, very much, but straight back on her feet, so...
That's what you like to see.
Very much. So, of course, we'd like to thank you all for watching today's stream, and, of course, all of those across there on the bank of Bournebrook. The Finnish Helsinki Wolverines are over there as well, watching at the very top end, as they have switched in quarterbacks. So it is going to be Parker stepping up, Natalie Parker in at quarterback with Aston to her side, and it is a handoff to her as she weaves through and picks up a good 8 or 9 yards on that play.
She'll get herself close to first down yardage there.
So not quite the first down, but a second and 1.
Good opportunity for Natalie Parker. Big stage. Get to practice against some good opposition, which will make her life a lot easier when regular season comes around for the ladies.
Very much so, and she, of course, will be, at the moment, the lady that steps up to take over from Kilby as she completes her first pass of the game, and it's a big run after the catch by number 80, Jodie Harris. Nice pick up by her. Just looking down the list at some of the other receivers, and Hannah Pye has also had a good game, and of course Jess Hastings, who's sponsored by Hastings & Co. She's been called out a couple of times today. She's had a good game as well. Not former GB, I do apologise. A lot of information all bundled up as the Lions come out. Natalie Parker this time handing off to Aston, who steps round, or tries to step Alt, but goes down shy of the line of scrummage. Well wrapped up by Alt.
Brought down for no gain.
Come out here, 2nd and 10. He did just manage to get back to that line of scrummage. So again, Parker lining up with 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right, and a handoff to Aston, who's going to maybe pick up a yard if they're feeling generous.
Met by a sea of sharks. I thought that was quite good, that one, compared to Sharknado. I'll take that.
I liked it. It was a cheeky pun. I just wasn't going to bring it up. Third and 10. Not picking up anything on that play. Well wrapped up by the defense. Parker coming out again in that same formation. This time she'll be starting under center. Looks like there may be some pressure coming from the middle by the Sharks. As it does arrive, as she drops back, pass out to Aston, who drops it in the backfield. Be called as an incomplete pass. It will bring up 4th and 10 this time round.
No time whatsoever for Parker there.
Yeah, pressure came straight through the middle of the line that time. Looks like they're just going to punt this ball away with Brown, the returner, the threatening returner, who's already had a wonderful game on defense. We'll see if she can make anything happen on special teams as well. Looks like the Sharks may well be sending the house, as that is a bad snap. And again, the special teams unit failing for the punter. That's the second time Hastings has been brought down in the backfield after a bad punt snap.
Bad snap there, bad. Rolling on the floor early on.
Again, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Game Ball sponsor Ace Embroidery today, and presenting the MVP Game Awards will be Matthew Smart, the Managing Director of the company.
That would be my big takeaway from the weekend. Lions need to improve their specials.
Yeah, it has very much been a struggling factor for them as he line up here. Looks like Mulligan is back in the game as she hands off. Perhaps they are looking for the 50 burger on the final game under the New York Sharks name. The clock strikes early, as usual, 2 minutes early.
2 minutes early.
Any reason for that? Is that because university students have a tendency to be late for class?
I actually have no idea, in all honesty. I think it was just an accident, and then the gimmick just stuck.
And as the bell does toll, it will signal the 2-minute warning. So we'd like to thank Football America, of course, for coming down here today, the vendor partner, and they have got their travelling shop. I've seen that the Finnish team have been in there this afternoon browsing goods. They have sold some boots to one of the team members over there, as Wilkerson takes the football and is going to go close to the Lions' 20-yard line, maybe marked down 24-25. Big pickup by her. Good work all round by the offensive line. So we'll see if they opt to run again or whether Mulligan goes to the air and looks for her 4th passing touchdown, showing that she can pass. She's had a great game so far. No interceptions as she looks to do a read option and picks up a short amount of yardage. Just shy of the 20. This really has been a great display of football all round from everyone involved.
Yeah, it's been a really good weekend. Very, very lucky to be a part of it.
And it sounds like in our other game at the start of the 4th quarter, Portsmouth Dreadnoughts have just put some points on the board, so the score over there 12-7 after they get the extra point. Very close game. And it looks like they are going to try and knee this out.
Yeah, the game's been called.
And as you say there, the game has been called. On that note, means the New York Sharks win out over the Birmingham Lions 47-8. We've had a couple more tweets in during that fourth quarter from Reese. Reese with a lot of numbers. Let's go Sharks. Great game and great commentary. Thank you, Reese, for tuning in. The Sharks over the moon, as of course that win means that they have won the first inaugural PROCLOUD tournament, and I think well-deserved winners. Is that fair to say, Tom?
Yeah, well-deserved. They've been a class above the rest.
So they will, of course, shake hands. Lions there, led out by Joe Kilby of the Birmingham Lions, no doubt.
The Lions should still hold their heads up high, no doubt. It's been a tough weekend for them, but more experience onto that 11-a-side career for the Lions.
Yeah, steep learning curve, that is for sure. But these Sharks and the Wolverines showing what quality football surrounds the women's game up and down the country. Just watch these guys for a couple of minutes. Very, very shortly, of course, we will have not just the MVP awards for the game, but I think they have an MVP award for the tournament, and of course the trophy as well that's been sat on our desk, standing proudly all game. Again, I think the Lions would like to thank the Harvey Davidson store at Solihull for sending out some supporters on their bikes. You may have seen them earlier on in our show. They very kindly came down to show support. I think Samuel Steelers, as well as many of the Birmingham Lions, are down here today. Of course, all three teams have come down to watch each other play throughout the tournament. The Helsinki Wolverines have been stood out in the sun today. We've done a bit of shopping as well in the meantime at the Football America store. And of course the Lions came down Friday night, and the Sharks came out yesterday to come and watch the game. So
as well as every game that's been played, head referee Andrew Morrell. Sorry, I haven't been given a roster for the other officials. You want to provide one for me? I'm more than happy to give you guys a shout out.
So very, very shortly we will be showing you the trophy presentation. You'll join us on the sideline right after this.
We are the official UK distributors and retailers for Riddell, Rawlings, Wilson Footballs, Nike and Under Armour. This gives us the largest range of products in the UK. We also offer team merchandise. We can supply a full range of clothing, all printed and embroidered in-house. Please feel free to visit our showroom at 8 Hill Lane Industrial Estate, Markfield, Leicester, LE67 9PM.
Make his way down to the field, please. Jim Messenger, if you're present, can we make your way down to the field, please? See Joe Walker from Football America's already shot his way in there.
So just had calls from Jim Messenger, or for Jim Messenger, to take the field as well. Joe Walker of Football America down there having a little bit of a scrap, perhaps you saw there on your camera, with Kenny of the UK Dukes. Of course, he's doing his bit for the NFL at the moment. In what's he doing? What's his?
He manages flags in school.
That's what he's doing. School flag.
Well, he's coaching for the Birmingham Lions women's at the minute.
Yeah. Nice bloke. Wayne Hill there with the football, and it looks like Jim Messenger is going to be handing out the MVP trophy. Matthew Smart of Ace Embroidery is around somewhere, I'm sure.
Okay, so we're going to start with the presentation for today's game MVP. This presentation to be made by
will be started. You may just hear our sideline commentator, sideline announcer.
For the Birmingham Lions is nominated by the New York Sharks, and it's once again number 10, Ruth Matter.
So Ruth Matter, as voted for by the New York Sharks, has been announced as the MVP for the Birmingham Lions today. She's had a better game, I think, than last night, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not been a bad weekend for her, picking up 2 MVPs, 2 games.
Very much so. Nancy Stone, of course, was a great defensive player last night, not quite picking it up as she stands there between Joe Walker and Jim Messenger for her photo op. Jim, of course, I believe he's still the GB women's head coach.
Yes. He'll be very familiar with a lot of the Lions players.
Is number 30, quarterback, Karen Mulligan.
And as a big cheer goes up, Mulligan of the New York Sharks, as voted by the Lions, is their MVP, and I think deservedly.
Oh, well deserved. Such arm talent deserves recognition.
Yes, 16 seasons, and you can hear the cheers going up. She has thrown for 3 touchdown passes today and led the offense very, very well. Marching up and down the field all day in this sun. And they will be very, very happy. Particularly as this is, in theory, the last game under the New York Sharks banner before their merger. And the 2 of them there just having the photo together. I think this tournament's really been held in great spirit. I think they've all formed bonds between all the teams, and I hope that they've made some friends for life, as it were.
Oh, 100%. It's a bunch of strong women who love this sport, coming down together.
Oh, we've spotted him. Stuart Andrews there, off the starting block, bolting down. Look at the speed of Stuart Andrews. I had to see that. That was incredible. He really is the next Usain Bolt coming up. So the Wolverines are just coming onto the field now as well. They of course picked up a win over these Lions last night, losing out to the Sharks in what was a very, very good opener. Stuart Andrews is everywhere. I can just see him. He's like Flash. He's all over the place. But the Helsinki Wolverines, a well-deserved applause. 2nd place for them. They've done a great job. Really showed the turnaround last night. When they beat the Lions comfortably, showing that they can very much compete with the very best.
Okay, so before we get into presenting the medals, we are going to present an award for the most valuable player of the tournament. It's voted on by, I'm not sure it's voted on by, but it's been voted.
So
we're going to have
we've heard Jay Alexander will be announcing the MVP of the tournament. Let's see who they announce.
Running over players, leaving the trail of bodies in her wake, scoring herself a couple of touchdowns. The most valuable player for this year's ProCloud Transatlantic Tournament, I'll get it right, sponsors and everything, is number 34 for the Helsinki Wolverines, Kuni Kuusanen.
Kuusanen there, the MVP of the tournament. And if you watched either of Game 1, Game 2, she really left a wake of players in her path as she ran all over defenses. Neither the New York Sharks could slow her down or the Lions last night. Had a phenomenal outing last night and has had a great all-round tournament and thoroughly deserved MVP.
Well deserved.
I don't think there's many people that would want to stand in front of her as they ran towards.
Oh God, no. That'll be in a world of pain.
All right. So that's present the team medals now. Before we do, can I just say, excellent weekend.
So it sounds like next up will be the team medals, and of course I'd like to thank everybody at home for watching, and all the teams and all the sponsors, of course, throughout the weekend. And of course we had Enterprise and we had Midshire, and of course today's game sponsor, Ace Embroidery as well. The host team, Birmingham Lions, there receiving their team medals. And
I'm sure they'll cherish them of this memorable weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully this will be the first of many transatlantic tournaments. Whether they have the same 3 teams or whether they change the 3 teams each time, I'm not quite sure, but it has been a great tournament. And I think everyone around, and speaking to 1 or 2 people, they've enjoyed being here today as well.
Oh, it's been a brilliant weekend, and I hope in future years something similar occurs.
Yeah, I think it's been a great advertisement for the women's game, and of course with the news of Phoebe Schechter getting that coaching spot in the NFL as well for the Buffalo Bills. I think it's a great time for the women's game and really shows what you can do. And everything like this, all the events like this, just help teams bond, getting more connections, and improve as players and as people as well. And of course, this weekend, not just about the football, it's also about raising some awareness and some money for that Birmingham Children's Hospital, a valuable resource here in Birmingham and in the United Kingdom. And if you are looking to donate any money at all, you can find that on the Just Giving website. If you search Just Giving into Google or any other search engine, that will come up. And then on the website, you can search for the PROCLOUD trophy, and that will bring you up to the drive that they are running for the hospital. Just the coaches going through there. Does Kenny really get a medal? Is he really a coach?
He's part of the Lions family.
Jim Messenger there and Joe Walker handing out those medals. Of course, Joe Walker, head of sales for Football America, bringing down that football shop. And the Helsinki Wolverines will be up next. Of course, they had that close loss on Friday night, and a big win over the Lions last night as well. Thoroughly deserved. They had a great outing throughout this weekend and showed what they can do. And I believe the last time the Lions played them a few years ago, Lions actually won out. So shows over a couple of years how a team can improve, and really have done, stepped it up a level.
It's a big step for the Lions coming against the top tier of women's football, especially in Europe with the Helsinki Wolverines. It's promising of what can come from this program and what is in store in the future.
Of course, the Lions program, I believe, have fielded a second team this year who placed 9th nationally and have been involved with the Staffordshire Surge as well, setting up their, or helping to set up their women's program down there.
Big congratulations to the Wolverines.
Wolverines last few just coming through. Head coach will be very, very happy to say his team started travelling 6 a.m. finish time on Friday, playing 2 games within a 48-hour window of that flight time, and doing very, very well for themselves. Jim Messenger there just handing out the trophies, the medals. Wayne Hill in the background. Of course, we spoke to Wayne before the game about his new BAFCA presidency. He has told us not to call him President Hill, or he much prefers El Presidente. But no, Wayne and the BAFCA board have got some great plans for coaching and helping develop coaches up and down the country. And if you have got any questions, of course, you can contact BAFCA. They are always looking to help people where they can, and the BAFCA convention, for anyone that did go, was a great event this year in Nottingham.
So in December 1999, the New York Sharks were first formed. Now, in the best part of the 19 years, they've established themselves a record as one of the longest run and winningest women's football teams in the world.
Jay Alexander just announcing that the Sharks franchise is coming to a close as they merge into the New York Wolves team for the next season.
But for now, sending off that franchise in the right way, can we please award the winners' medals to the New York Sharks?
Thoroughly deserved winners. They've shown what they can do. As Jay Alexander said, this is their last game under the New York Sharks brand, and will be starting under the New York Wolves brand moving forward for the next season. A great all-round showing for them.
So impressive flying over for this tournament.
Very much so. Fields there, and Natal and Jennifer King. Jennifer King, of course, Friday's MVP, receiving her medal. They'll be very, very happy with what they've achieved this weekend, and what a way for them to finish out their brand. Last few Sharks players coming through the gate there.
Again, as we finish up these gold medal presentations, we want to say a massive thank you to the 3 game sponsors for this weekend's tournament. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, who sponsored the Wolverines Sharks game. Midshire Business Systems, who sponsored the Lions Wolverines game. And today, Ace Embroidery Limited, who sponsored the Sharks versus the Birmingham Lions. Massive thank you as well to Onside. We've done the live stream for all 3 games. Even if you give me a bit of jip, it's okay. It's all good. You didn't let me on the stream either. But I'm not going to.
So the teams there, New York Sharks just lining up for their championship trophy shot, a thoroughly deserved win. Again, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of the weekend sponsors. Of course, PROCLOUD, the team sponsor for the full weekend. Midshire, who sponsored yesterday's game. Enterprise, who sponsored Friday night's game. And of course, today's sponsors, Ace Embroidery. Football America as well, the partner vendor. And of course, ourselves at Onside have been.
The medals and the awards have been given out.
So
with our final congratulations to third place Birmingham Lions and the second place Helsinki Wolverines.
Very lucky to be involved in such a good opportunity in football.
This year's Transatlantic ProCloud Trophy to the winners, the New York Sharks.
And there they go, the cheers go up. Really have shown their mettle. Great job all round for them.
Will make a long flight home a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. They've managed to run the ball. They've managed to pass the ball effectively. Their defense has been phenomenal as well. Only allowing 8 points today and only allowing 14 points on Friday. And that scoreline there, I think, really says where the Lions can be aiming for. 47-8 to the Sharks.
Well, they now have a goal. They can go set a standard they can go to and try and improve as a franchise as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will make for some great building blocks, I'm sure. You look at some of the experienced players throughout this tournament. Mulligan, of course, the MVP for today's game for the Sharks. No doubt will be a valuable contact for these Sharks.
Give the Sharks a couple of pictures by themselves.
So very shortly we are hoping to get Kuusinen, and that is fins up, as they call it. The Sharks there just celebrating their win during that photo. Very shortly we're hoping to be joined by Kuusinen, the tournament MVP.
Let's get all 3 teams, let's get a massive picture.
Looks like they're going to try and get all 3 teams bombing in.
We're making history here in the UK, the first international women's tournament.
The Lions jump into the left-hand side, the right-hand side of your screen.
Let's capture that moment.
Helsinki Wolverines jump in on the other side. I think that picture, I think, really says a lot about the tournament and the atmosphere that's surrounded it, Tom.
Oh, 100%. It's women who love the sport and want to play with their friends and making friends all over the world.
It really has been a great display of football throughout.
This weekend will probably be a moment that they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, very much so. And I very much hope to see this tournament continue moving forward. Perhaps one of the other teams will be hosting next year. Maybe a trip to Finland. Maybe a trip to New
Finland
York.
for Onside.
Yeah, that would be nice. But, no, it's been a great tournament of football, and you know the facilities here at Birmingham are absolutely marvellous. This surface. The teams, even the teams' changing rooms have been,
it's brilliant,
ever so nice. And you know, as a player of the university, what you get and what you've got hold of here.
Yeah, very fortunate to be based here. Just the facilities are world class, and it's been a brilliant place for this tournament.
It's been a pleasure to have you. Wish you all a safe journey home.
Players all just
coming in. Something of its kind on these shores.
One big.
And when we do run that again, we hope to see you all back again next year.
Atlantic cheer here as all the teams jump in to try and touch that trophy. There you go. Screams
Breakdown.
of women's football. I got that breakdown. Was it?
They deserve it. It's been a brilliant weekend.
Very much so. Okay. So just talk to us briefly. What were your thoughts on today's game then, Tom?
The Sharks dominated throughout. Strong run game there from a New York outfit. But the Lions showed a lot of promise. Hannah Pye's big return early on and scoring against such a formidable team. They're positives to take away from this weekend. So the Lions shouldn't hold their heads down. Should be very proud of what they've achieved this weekend. Yeah,
great offensive display and defensive display by those New York Sharks. Where do you think the Lions can improve first and foremost with their gameplay?
Specials. Unfortunately, the format of the British game, we don't really play specials in the women's 7-a-side format. That if the Lions need to get better, they need to improve that third of the game.
Yeah, we've seen that's cost them points all over. They've had a couple, not blocked punts, but the punter brought down today, which is not going to be worse.
It's an improvement from yesterday, but still big strides need to be made in terms of special teams.
Yeah, of course. And then trying to find other areas of the offence to get the ball moving. Ruth Matter was very much the key to the offence and has been for a long time. Perhaps they need to, trust. Maybe trust might be the wrong word to be honest. But they did try and share the ball out a bit more throughout the game.
Yeah, I feel trust is the wrong word. I'm sure they trust one another. They're sisters in arms. But the coaches maybe need to scheme more to get more players involved. Maybe quicker passing, get the ball out of Kilby's hands faster. But there's big takeaways to take from this weekend. They'll go away, look at the film from 2 more hours of 11-a-side football. They'll know what their identity will be, and they'll work on that in training.
And of course, we've seen Natalie Parker as well come out today, the younger quarterback. Perhaps the one to take the reins over the next few years. Kilby certainly got fuel left in the tank, and we know that she can play football to a high standard. What do you make of Parker's performance? She's only had a few reps in the fourth quarter.
Well, the big takeaway for me from Parker, that big hit yesterday, and she got up, went to the sideline, got the play, went straight back in. That's what you want from the leader on the field. That's what you want from your quarterback. And it's a promising sign. Maybe more experience, especially in 11-a-side football, will help her. But overall, future looks bright for the Lions.
And of course, Aston as well today for the Lions. She got her reps as well, and showed that she could run the ball as well. And of course, the Sharks got a bit of a change at quarterback before putting Mulligan in for the final drive under the Sharks brand. Ayala, who looked very, very good as well.
Yeah, very good. I mean, the Sharks, that doesn't look like a huge drop-off, if there's a drop-off at all, between the two signal callers. I mean, they're very blessed to have two excellent gunslingers.
So if this tournament was to continue then next year, what would you like to see? Or who at this point do you think would show the most improvement? It's perhaps hard for the Sharks to improve a lot more from there.
The Wolverines, I feel if they came back again with some more tape on the Sharks, could make that game very, very, very close. And if from a Lions standpoint, just look to better yourself, look to be a better program going in. Maybe not focus on winning, but close to the deficits, maybe the chance of getting a surprise victory.
Yeah, the scoreboard needs to come closer. That's for sure. We are just waiting to get hold of some of these coaches, some of these players as well. But we have got an update for you on that Division 2 South final. Cheetahs currently winning out 26-7, deep in the fourth quarter, with around about 3 minutes left. So that's certainly making for some doubt.
Yeah.
Hertfordshire, of course, and getting that promotion this year. Do you know much about their programme?
Not much. One of my teammates from university, Finley Harris, playing receiver there at the minute. From what I've heard, they'll survive in Division 1, no doubt. They'll be strong, competitive, and their links to Hertfordshire Uni, their strong youth programme that we saw in the last weekend.
Youth programme making the plate final in both youth and the junior final as well. So
I'm sure the Hertfordshire Cheetahs will stay in Tier 1, maybe push for promotion to the Premiership in a few seasons' time.
Yeah. So, of course, and we've mentioned it several times already, but I do feel it's important to stress this isn't just about football. It is about raising some awareness, some money. Children's Hospital, an invaluable space in Birmingham, have done some great jobs. We had the young boy, Alec, come out with the coin toss, a former patient. In fact, I think he still is within care in the Children's Hospital. He's been there since birth. And the teams, whilst it's great to see the display of football, they are trying to raise some awareness, some money for these charities. We had the raffle earlier on, and of course they've got the Just Giving campaign, and you can find that on the Just Giving website. You can search that on any search engine, where you just type in Just Giving, and then when you click onto that website, just type in PROCLOUD Trophy, and there you will be able to donate. And anything that you can give would be absolutely grand. Our cameraman is leading over our tournament's MVP in Kusanen, who is just about to come on camera. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
There you go. We'll give you a mic. If you squeeze in, we don't bite. How are you feeling?
Unbelievable. I can't believe it by myself either.
Have you enjoyed this weekend of football?
Yes, it has been an amazing experience, and I've really enjoyed.
Just talk to us about some of those runs that you made. Obviously, absolutely dominant throughout this tournament. What were your thoughts as you found the open space? And even I think we saw you truck, and we even caught a glimpse of a hurdle at some point as well. I don't know if you've noticed that watching any game film back.
Yeah. Well, I'll try always my best on the field, and I'm trying to get more yards than from the first tackle. And I think the game against New York Sharks was amazing, that I could run against USA team. It was amazing, and our line and blocks were amazing at that game too. And also yesterday, it has been a really great tournament for our team.
The offensive line doing a very nice job for you as well.
Yeah.
Of course, the defense really stepped up. Talk us through some of your favorite defensive players. Isn't the right word, but talk us through some of your teammates and how they're feeling as well.
Well, I think football is not for that we play 2 games at 2 days a row, but it was a big challenge for us, but we made it pretty well, including everything traveling and stuff. From our defense, linebackers played an amazing game, line played an amazing game, Emmi, Järn, Minna from the end.
Do you think this weekend will help the team progress ahead of next season?
Of course.
Learned a lot, steep learning curve.
Yeah.
What did you think to the New York team? Are they the toughest opponents you guys have faced?
This season, of course, yeah. We won every single game at our Finnish league this year.
Yep.
So the New York Sharks game was the toughest at this season. But I think that we raised in a upper level at the second half of that game.
Have you got any final words to wish as well from the camera? What was your highlight of the tournament?
I don't know. Everything has been so great, and the atmosphere and stuff. So I can't say just the one thing, but it has been an amazing experience. And just want to say, terveisiä Suomeen.
You might have to translate what that one for us. What does that mean? I hope it's not some rude Finnish.
I just say some regards to Finland.
Very nice, very nice. We'll let you get off to your team and continue your celebration. Well played this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So a very, very happy player there.
Of course, you have to be after being named MVP of such an amazing tournament, which, especially for someone being from Europe, being named an MVP over American players, that's a special memory there.
And she really did show that she could ball out. She played phenomenally. And it was also nice to hear that they've enjoyed the atmosphere as well. So we are joined now by Tia Hopkins, the tournament winning head coach.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm great. Cloud nine.
Big gleaming smile there across your face. I don't know. Are you happy with the performance?
Absolutely. You know, you want to get the W at the end of the day, but when you do it like that, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, you guys. Come on, guys. I can see it.
Oh, there they are.
Jump in.
Come on, Bam.
Just stand behind your coach. It's okay. We might have to widen the shot there. But you guys, of course, great game all round today.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here.
Just talk us through this game today then. Obviously, a huge scoreline. We can see it on the bottom of the screen, 47-8.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, we went back and reflected on the Helsinki game, but not in terms of scheme, just how we were. You know, we like to focus on ourselves and do our job. So coming out here today, it was more about, okay, we got game one out of the way. We got our legs under us. We just need to play football the way we know how to play football. And like I was saying before the game, dictate the game, dictate the pace of the game, and continue to be able to do the things that we want to do, and we'd have the outcome that we wanted, and that's what we did today.
We've obviously seen today, Friday, should I say, the running game wasn't really working for you, but today, absolutely dominant.
Yes.
Just talk us through the adjustments that you made.
No adjustments. I just told my offensive line to show up, or my defensive line would be playing offensive line.
Where were you?
I think they were still touring London, I think. Right, yeah, but, you know, it's just getting back to basics. I was actually supposed to be here for offensive coordinator. I'm normally the offensive line coach, so taking on the head coach responsibility took me away from them a lot. So I sent them a message. I said, I feel like you guys missed me. Let's meet up. So we got together, went over our normal, you know, pre-game routine that we normally go through, and I think that just made them feel a lot better, more prepared, and it showed today.
You guys absolutely fantastic throughout this tournament as well. Now, you guys, we briefly touched on it, are going into a bit of a rebrand situation. Is that right? Are
correct.
You merging with another team? Is that the plan, or is it just a complete Sharks getting old now, and we're just going for a whole new? We're going to look cool. We're going to have a nice wolf across our.
Yeah, just the Sharks are closing the book. It'll be a lot of the same faces, but it's under new management, rebranding, so it's not a merger. It'll be just the same team moving under a new name.
And you guys, of course, coming off that championship, win your division. It's Division 2, wasn't it?
Right.
So do you get a promotion into the Division 1 tournament? Is that quite how it works in your leagues?
So it's not automatic. There are some, I guess, guidelines as to what makes a team Division 1 or not. We'll have the choice. Obviously, it'll be a bit up in the air for us because it'll be a different team. So we will lose some veterans. Like our quarterback is retiring this year. So, you know, we'll lose some people in some key spots. So for Division 2, it's a matter of roster size as well as talent level. Yep. So we'll just kind of have to see how things shake out once we know what we're coming back with.
Now, you guys, have you all enjoyed your time in the UK?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we've had some.
Hospitality is through the roof.
That's really nice to hear. I think second only to the Canadians.
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
Yikes.
No, but you've also been blessed with some British sunshine.
It's fantastic.
I gather you guys just hear it rains all the time over here. Like, you've not had a drop all weekend. It's been a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, it's been great.
As we've got so many of you here, and we saw you guys take that photo up here, and we've got our camera lined up nicely. How do you guys feel about doing one final fins up?
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
One final fins up.
Yeah.
Fins up to close. So why don't we guys get you into that fins up, and we'll close the show on you guys. So thank you all from Onside Productions. Thank you to all our camera, John Swift on this sideline cam in front of these fine women here. Our tower man, Alex Campbell, Tom Howe in the booth. Tom Henley stood next to me. Joe Walker, of course, stepping in. Shane, the man, and Steve Matthews, Matt Walker, of course, as well. From all of us here at Onside Productions, goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.